Well, hey everyone, thanks for chiming in today and hanging out with us. We've got a super special guest tonight, which I know is the whole reason you came to hang out with us. Has nothing to do with me and Lee. We already know. When this interview ends, like, it's just, other than the like people that are diehard that stay for 5.5 hours when we're on a live stream, we're gonna watch those numbers just kind of try. Oh, hey, thanks for that. Appreciate that. Super
and we got one of those diehard people down in the waiting room with us right now that stays with us the whole time.
I know. That's amazing. We appreciate every one of you guys. And we've got a couple people in the waiting room today. And how do you want to do this? Who do you want to bring in first?
I think we ought to bring in our featured person.
Oh, we'll just jump straight into it then.
Yeah. All right.
That way, if they're late,
y'all probably all know this guy here. And we're going to bring in Jeff Horchoff, Mr. Ed.
Mr. Ed!
You poor people.
Hey, Ed, how you doing today?
Hey, we almost didn't even go live. We were having so much fun backstage, just doing, making sure everything was working, that we were like, maybe we just stay here and don't go live. We're having too much fun.
Look, thanks
trying to get the link to working.
Appreciate it.
Oh, you know, man, I've been following you. I actually watched beekeeping videos for about 2 years before I ever started beekeeping. And you were like the first guy I stumbled upon on YouTube.
Pretty bad, wasn't it?
Oh, you know what? It didn't matter what you put up. It's your infectious personality. Even if
you
it wasn't
must have seen the very beginning ones, because it's like, who is that guy?
Oh yeah, I had to go back and watch them all.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, I mean, even the ones where you're rendering wax in the 5-gallon pail and you dump it upside down. I see you scraping it like on the concrete to get the junk off of it. You know, I'm like, this is good. I need to follow him. But you know, it doesn't matter. You could be saying, hey guys, I got something special for you today. We're going to go down and check the monks out, and they've got this fork. and you know, and it would just be, it's just that constant happiness. And that's something that we like to do on this channel is we just hang out and talk bees. We usually don't even have an agenda. There's not really a topic. We just start on what happened to us in the apiary today, and what do you got happening? What's your weather like? And then people in the chat come and join in, and we just have a good time, you know, and just hanging out.
Well, I always found that flying by the seat of your pants, that's a great way to roll. And that way you don't get nervous, because whatever happens, and we just go with it, you know. I think that's a great way to be. And that spontaneousness, that is I think that's a very good way to be, you know, instead of a prepared script and all this stuff. Script, we don't never do that.
Yeah,
anyway, it's always unpredictable what we do. It really is.
And it's really, I think when you have like Good Time Charlie there or somebody with you, and all of a sudden you guys you can't even really hear what's said in the back, but you start cracking up, and you're like, man, I wish I could have been there, you know, because I know something funny just happened, you know.
Yeah, you know, videoing what we do, I drop a lot of that stuff in the editing because it makes the videos even longer than they. I don't like making these long videos, but they just keep getting long, and I don't want to do that. But it to capture.
You cut out all the good stuff.
Well, sometimes I'll throw in those bloopers. I haven't been doing them lately, but at the end of the clip, and most people are already they've been gone for 20 minutes, and then I put those bloopers at the end, and they miss that. But oh well.
It's like, how many times can you say, well, this is a frame. This is a deep frame. You know, how many videos are out there like that? So it is definitely a great thing that the community, the beekeeping community, and I heard you tell Fred Dunn, I'm not a beekeeper. I'm a bee wrangler.
Yeah. It's true. I'm not a beekeeper. I don't possess the knowledge that so many. Look at that, Gary Adkins. He's in right now. G's bees. I know Gary. Gary just came and it was a week ago. He came and helped me do splits, and I worked that poor Oklahomian boy.
I watched that video. I watched that video.
That boy went home tired. Him and his wife. She had a seminar here in New Orleans, and so she went to that, and Gary came over here, and I worked that poor boy to death.
Yeah, he left a comment on one of my videos this morning. And I went and checked his channel out, and it was when he come and visited you. So I responded to his comment and told him you were going to be here tonight. And he said he'd definitely come and set it on his schedule.
We had like a Mr. Ed watch going on because Lee said, hey, I sent Mr. Ed an email to see if you'll come on our stream. And then I think it was a week and a half or 2 weeks. Every day I was like, hey, did you hear from Mr. Ed today? No?
I can't remember. Right. I think it was last Monday or Tuesday I sent it, but I know everybody gets busy.
Well, you ought to see I've only gotten about 6,000 unread emails. It's like I'm really, really bad on responding. I am. The thing I'm kind of good on responding is comments on my videos. It's the only thing I'm really like. I kind of dedicate myself to that. That I figure that if people are nice enough to watch one of my videos and then leave a comment, the least I could do is respond to it. And so I try to do that.
I'm sure you're pretty busy answering comments, Tim, with 123,000 subscribers.
127 now. I checked it today.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Pretty sure. I'll pull it up on my other computer right here, right now.
Yeah, that's got to keep you busy answering that many.
Jeff,
well, thankfully, not everybody leaves a comment, and then I've gotten really lazy because I can't answer them all. And I'd love to answer all of them. Even
I'm wrong. You're all right. It is 123.
It's they all, they like what I do and all. So most of those just get a heart because, and then I know Mike Coon at Coon Lake. I know him because
he's been watching our videos pretty regular. Our streams. He comes in almost every night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're small, but we're fierce.
What's that?
We're small, but we're fierce.
I think we've been doing these streams together for about 3 weeks, maybe now, 3 or 4 weeks.
Again?
Yeah, we've only been
doing these streams together like 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Oh, wow!
And we're streaming to both channels at the same time. So, and we don't have when we put the link out. We're not selecting and picking. It doesn't matter if you've got 1 sub or 100,000 subs, because there might be somebody that's been beekeeping 40 years and they just put out 1 video on YouTube. So they don't have that many subs, but they've got a lot of knowledge.
Oh, yeah.
So, that's more where we're going at, is just sharing little tips or, what we did, or, hey, this is what I might have done, or, just being nice, friendly beekeepers and hanging out. And
one thing I try to emphasize this point because there's so many beekeepers, spread out all over the United States, the world, and it's really, really important to know how to keep bees where you live. Right. That's really the key to success. Is knowing how to keep bees where you live. Not, here I am living in Southeast Louisiana. Well, I can't keep bees the way they even do in Shreveport, in North Louisiana. Temperature, climate, the food habitat. There's so much diversification and all that stuff, so many differences. And you really need to learn the particulars of your area and then adjust your beekeeping methods to that. And one of the points that I'm really starting to emphasize, it's not so much the methodology of keeping bees that should be stressed, but rather the understanding of almost like bee biology, understanding bees. Because when we understand how bees work, how to work with them is going to naturally fall in place. And it's so often, particularly the new people, they're overwhelmed with information because there's so much information out there. And so they can get discouraged, especially they get discouraged when after they do what they read about and do it and their bees die and they don't understand. I did everything they're supposed to do. And then they get discouraged and they give up beekeeping,
Yeah.
So, okay, here's
like
the thing.
you said, everything's local. If somebody's in the South and watching videos of somebody doing something in the North and try the same thing, likely that's not going to work because it's not the same environment, same temperature range.
There's always some connection, but you've got to figure out the variables.
And that technique may have worked, but it may have worked a month ago for you.
And that too. Yeah, is exactly right. Well, that's one thing I think I have advantage over a lot of people because our bees develop so quickly down here. And so like I'm finished my splits. I'm about ready to put honey supers on. And somebody up in Wisconsin, they're still got snow in their yard.
Yeah. Right. That's me and you. We about on the same longitude or latitude. And I mean, I figure I'm about 45 minutes from you, maybe.
Yeah, about that. Because I mean, you're right below Baton Rouge.
Yes, sir.
And I'm in Columbia, South Carolina.
Oh,
so
wow.
That was the other thing that when we started this, we wanted, no offense to any northern people on here, but we wanted a more southern focused YouTube beekeeping channel because of that reason. When I started, like I said, I watched videos for like 2 years and everybody was north of me. Everybody I was watching was north of me, except for like you and Dirt Rooster and Yappy and JP and, all those guys, which when you started saying, hey, let's go wrangle some bees. And then I started thinking it went from, well, if I'm going to be a wrangler is cowboy, it's like cowboy, right? A wrangler is a cowboy.
Yeah. Well,
that's how it became Walker Bee Ranch was off of bee wrangling, being a wrangler. So,
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Because most of the time, if you're a cowboy, you're herding steers, right? Most of the time steers, but they're all females. So it's really a contradiction. But anyway, that's how that happened. So before we start taking stuff out of the comments section, we got a person that's been anxiously waiting to speak with you.
All right.
And we're going to bring in William. He's out of Oklahoma, and he's got a YouTube channel. And I'll add him in, and I'll add him to the stream right now. He wanted to say something special to you. All right. Hey, William.
Hey.
Hey, William. Thanks for stopping by, brother.
Man, I appreciate you guys letting me on, Lee and Bob. I was hoping to... I was really hoping to meet you, Mr. Ed, down there at the Hive Life conference.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I missed
Oh, no, it's fine. It's perfectly fine. I was really wanting to meet you because I just wanted to thank you for all your content that you put out. Like Bob, I'd been watching YouTube content. Well, I really started watching beekeeping content on YouTube just because I stumbled across one of your videos, and you were just having a grand old time, and so I watched it, and I just thought, well, I might watch some more. And the more that I watched your videos, I was like, man, these bees are really fascinating creatures. And so I watched I watched you for a couple of years, and then finally got the opportunity. I was in a pre-construction meeting. I do construction, and they said, well, you guys are ready to start. You can demo the house. We just have to find a beekeeper to remove some bees that are in the wall. I was like, no, I got you. I'll get those bees out of the wall. and so I went home that night and with flashlight, and I built a bee vacuum from memory off of the one that you use. You know what I mean? The only difference is I just have my hose going into the lid instead of, having the vacuum mounted in there. Like I said, I had to build it fast. Right. And got those bees out that weekend. And I'm going into my 3rd year now. So I got fortunate. Those bees, they overwintered, and here we are. So
did you build a better bee vac?
No, that bee vac's perfect. What are you talking about?
No, if the one you built,
no, I did. Hazard. Yeah, after using it for a year, I did update the screen system. Uh-huh. And I made a video about that, but I just kind of worked that a little bit different to where I was having bees kind of get pinched in the little support bar that I had across the middle. Uh-huh. And so I turned that support the other direction and made it a little bit fatter. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I added an entrance wheel up there at the top so that I can put the brood above the box, crack the screen, and they actually come and go from up there instead of down and on that deep where they were at during transportation. Wow. So just a minor adjustment to how I built it originally.
I'm always evolving. I'm always modifying what I do. And when I first started doing, I would do the cutout. After I do the cutout and I do the framing, I'd set that right on top of the bees and let them migrate up. And I found I lost too many bees from the honey that would drip down. And so eventually, now all I do is I have my queen caged and I put her in after I frame up the comb. I put her on one of those frames and I just open up the box and let the bees go out and they'll all go in there. And it's so much better success rate of less bees dying that way. And it works really good. Plus, then you get the thrill of seeing all the bees. I love standing in the bees. I just love it.
Yeah.
Did you see Yappy B-Man's video yesterday with that swarm? Yeah. That was impressive. That was a lot of bees.
I haven't commented to him yet, but I'm gonna tell him that he followed my video because I did the same thing. He let the queen loose just like I let the queen loose on my swarm catch. She got out the cage, and then, but he didn't catch it. I'm gonna get him.
I asked Lee the other day, did he take his pots and pans when he did that swarm catch the other day to tang in the?
All right. I left one in the other vehicle.
Now when you did that tanging video, I noticed you had a frame of bees in there. Did you already have the queen in the box or no?
No. What happened with that one is that swarm was like 40 feet up in the air, hanging in the pine tree, and I had to stand in the bucket of the tractor, and he lifted me up. I had my extension pole, and I knocked it, but I didn't get a good knock of bees. And as he's lowering me down in the tractor, in the bucket, the bees are just flying out of that thing. And by the time it got to the ground, there might have been 100 bees left in it. Well, I threw those bees in there, but she wasn't in there because what happened right after that, the bees got off that limb and started headed south. And that's when I ran and grabbed the crowbar and I turned them around and they came back.
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah. It's dinner time. We're over here.
Yeah, it did look like a setup how I did it, but that's the real truth of what happened. But that was 3 years ago. That was an old video I posted 3 years ago. But since I've been so busy, I haven't had even time to make videos. And so I just went and redid that one because I like that one.
You recycled it.
Yeah,
that's good. That's good stuff. So yeah, I mean, I look at your videos about the Abbey, and it's almost, we talk about the micro economy, I guess, if you want to call it, of a beehive, where you've got everybody doing different things to contribute to one cause. And I kind of look at the Abbey like that too, right? You have the woodworkers, you have the bakers, you have
there is that's one of the things that I talk about in that how bees work for the common goal. Well, that's the life of monks too. They work for a common goal. So they aren't self-serving. They serve the whole, and so there's a real correlation between the two, between bees and monks, and monks throughout history for the last 1,500 years. That's one of the reasons why monasteries have always had bees. That's part of their tradition. It's part of their culture is beekeeping, and then of course with the wax for candles, and the honey of course, and then the meat I'm sure. But
we would have never had meat if it wasn't for monks. They discovered it.
Well, I don't know. I think it was the Vikings that discovered
it. Speaking of the Abbey, and and the monks, how did you get into the Abbey? What brought you to that?
Caskets, building caskets. That's how I got here. Was when the Abbey, after Hurricane Katrina, it wiped out their forest. They have a 1,200-acre stand out here, and all their pine trees, which was part of their income, was harvesting these trees. And Katrina took all of that stuff out, and so they were looking for ways to supplement their survival. And one of the proposed ideas was, let's build caskets. And so they said, okay, we'll try that. So they started it. They sold their first one, and as soon as it sold, they were hit with a cease and desist order from the funeral directors of Louisiana. And therein began a 7-year battle of who has the right to sell caskets or coffins in Louisiana. And so it went all the way up to the state supreme, and they tried to bring it to the Supreme Court, but it was overthrown way down at the Fifth Circuit. And the monks won a great case for everybody in the state of Louisiana, because it then allowed private entrepreneurs to enter into the market, and it's a very unfriendly market. Yeah. And then to be able to not only build but sell coffins or caskets in Louisiana.
Is that a highly regulated thing?
What, casket building?
Caskets, yeah, caskets.
No, it's it's just a box. That's all it is. It's a box.
It's Louisiana getting involved with everything.
Yeah. Well, the funeral people really have a very, very good what do they call those guys in the Senate? Those people that push legislation. They have very good, strong base like that. But it was
lobbyists.
Right?
Lobbyists.
The lobbyists.
The lobbyists.
Yeah, lobbyists. That's it, lobbyists. But in the end, the monks won out because, really, come on, who wants to beat up on poor monks?
Yeah.
You can buy. I think you can buy caskets from even like Costco.
Yeah, you can buy. Yeah, and that's the part that didn't make sense. You can buy from Costco. You can buy from Walmart. You can buy a casket.
As long as they're the ones building it and selling it and making all the money, then it's okay, right?
Well, they didn't care. Anybody could build the funeral guys. They didn't care who built it. They just didn't want anybody else to be able to sell it except for a licensed funeral director.
Oh, it's such a racket.
Oh,
when I say racket, I mean the whole funeral system, right? Funeral homes. If you're a funeral director, I apologize for these statements just because I don't want to offend you as a person. But when my father passed, the funeral home was literally across a 2-lane road to the cemetery. And they wanted to charge, I think it was like $800 to load the body up at the funeral home to take it to the cemetery across the street. And us country boys were like, just throw them in the back of the pickup truck. He would understand.
Yeah.
He would understand that. Just put him in the truck and we'll unload him. Tell us where to put him.
Well, that's how I got to the Abbey, was to build caskets. And I built caskets with them for about 6 years. And then one of the monks asked the abbot if he could start keeping bees. And they've always had monks periodically keeping bees at here at St. Joseph Abbey. And he had asked Abbott, and Abbott agreed, and he asked me if I would help him do that, and I agreed to help him, and so we got some bees, and I'm sure you've seen those old videos, and we started them up, and then about, I don't know, 8-12 months later, he left the Abbey, and I just kept on doing the bees.
So you are, how many colonies do you guys have at the Abbey now?
Well, I still don't have the final cut. I did the final count at the Abbey yesterday, and we have 62 at the Abbey, and we probably have somewhere between 60 and 80 off Abbey property as well.
Yeah, I can sit there in my little yard and I can count them and then recount them, and I still say, I got 23, 24. You know, I mean, it's like, yeah, by the time you get done, it's like it could be 23 or 24, somewhere in that area. But you know, oh, go ahead, William.
Yeah, I've got to run. I've got a hockey game, but I just wanted to jump on and thank you, Mr. Ed, and I appreciate you guys having me on.
William, thank you, brother, and good luck with all them cutouts you're gonna do with that modified bee vac, and thanks for
that's where I got all my bees. Thanks to Mr. Ed.
I'm telling you, nothing beats a feral bee.
Yes, sir.
And that's going to lead us into the next controversial topic.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a very hard line drawn in the middle of the hive. Treatment-free and treatment.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't fall on either side. I'll tell you that. I'm interested in learning what's best for the bees. And it's well known you do not treat at the Abbey. To go treatment free, and kind of just your thoughts on that.
You know, everybody has the right to decide how they want to do their bees. I would never say you can't treat your bees, or you shouldn't treat your bees. It's a person's right. You know, it's their property. You know, and so they can choose. And I believe that people, commercial guys particularly, who depend on the bees for their existence, their livelihood, that they need to do everything they need to do to sustain that livelihood. And so I understand it. But personally, for me, I believe in the survival of fittest. I believe in the natural
progression.
I believe in it, because nobody is taking care of those bees in the trees. You know, nobody's taking care of those bees in somebody's house. The bees are doing it. They know how to do it, or not, they'll die, and that's okay. But we tend to want to make bees become our pets, and instead of, you know, really looking what they are. We're just like stewards. That's really what my opinion is, that we're just stewards. We don't impose our will on them. I'm not saying it's wrong to manipulate bees and work bees. It's okay. They're your bees.
Right.
But for me, in my philosophy, it's, you let God created these things. He's got the plan, and the bees follow his plan. And part of this plan is some of them are going to die, and some of them are going to flourish. And the ones that flourish, this is the deal. That's the genetics that are passed. You know, it's just phenomenal when I open up a feral hive and see this. Like Charlie and I did one last week, and it wasn't the same bees in this house, but the hive was 5 feet long and, you know, 18 inches wide, full of bees. I mean, full of bees, and gentle as can be. I mean, great bees. They're sitting on the back porch right now at the honey house, and people need to see that it's actually possible to have bees that thrive, not just survive, but thrive in natural settings, you know?
Well, I've made the statement before on here that, you know, when they're in the tree, like you said, they're up to God's will, right? They're going to do what's going to happen to them is going to happen to them. And sometimes I wonder how much hardship we actually impose on the bees by moving them into a box that's 3/4 of an inch thick compared to 3 inches thick, tree trunk or something like that. But then again, you look at some of you guys' videos when you're doing cutouts, and they're not, I mean, they're particular on some things, being dry and warm and everything, but it's like they'll live in just about anything. I mean, I've seen them
even the barbecue pit.
trash cans,
tire, water heater.
Yeah. Underneath the ground, underneath the tree roots. So it's like they are by nature survivors. I mean, they find a way to keep it going. I don't know if you followed that. I don't know if you can see the comment up there, but we've been doing a little bit of experimenting with peppermint as a hive beetle deterrent. So, well, I mean, some people up north, like when you talk to Freddie, says we don't have hive beetles up here, but we have hive beetles in South Carolina.
We got them.
And you've seen the
look,
mounts.
Look, I don't advocate doing stuff for my bees, but I just got bees the other day.
Beetle traps.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what we've done.
Yeah, that's it. That's the kind I got, because I got to do something. I got some yards are just so thick with those things.
Well, try this. Try this in a couple colonies. You got your bag of peppermints, Lee?
Yeah, I got. So, you have peppermint candy?
The peppermint candy. Put a peppermint candy in the corner of each box on the top frame as an experiment.
Well, they don't come and eat it?
The bees do, but when the beetles massage their proboscis to get fed, they don't like peppermint. And they will leave the colony. I've tried it on a few of my colonies, and even after the candy's gone, I still don't have beetles in that colony.
Well, okay, I'm gonna try it.
And
these things, I don't want to put that in my hive.
Yeah. Well, you're looking at a 5-cent piece of candy compared to a $3, $4, beetle trap. So, and
you have to use a particular brand of peppermint.
No, just peppermint candy cane, whatever you got. I actually took some peppermint extract. This was not my idea, by the way. I'm not taking. I'm not going to take the credit for that, but I did take peppermint extract and mix it in with my Ultra Bee to make patties when I made my patties. And when you do you guys feed patties at all there, or just dried? No. All right. So usually what will happen down here is you put a half pound of patty on a strong colony, and it'll get about 25% into it. Then you have beetle larvae in the patty, and you have to peel and throw it off.
Right.
The one before I even put a peppermint patty onto a colony, it had to have hive beetles in it, so I knew whether they were there or not before. Yeah. And they were able to eat down to about maybe a 50-cent piece size before there was any larva in there. And when I took that out, the next trip I went in, there was no hive beetles left in the hive.
Wow.
So
out of three of my bee yards, I've only seen one beetle so far since I've put the peppermints in.
Oh man, it's awesome. I'm gonna try
it. Hey, it's worth a try. $4 thing from Walgreens to just give it a shot on a couple.
Oh, I am. Thank you.
And
the other thing about me, I'm really cheap too. Ask Charlie. I don't even buy him lunch.
Don't even buy him lunch. All right, we're getting some questions, and I don't. Yeah, there you go. Here's one from LaGrange Bees that says, "Is Jeff aware of Randy Oliver's resistance breeding program? He managed to get about 50% of his hives being immune to Varroa. Looks like he will succeed soon." You watch any of those studies or anything, or?
No, I don't read. I don't read.
You know,
I don't read. In fact,
that's what I say. Is that on Netflix?
Well, I don't watch very much television, and I don't read, and I just I don't really have time to do all that stuff. I'm just busy doing other stuff, and I never was. I don't I don't like. I probably have like this dyslexia or something because I have trouble reading, and I have trouble talking too. But I have a lot of troubles.
I understand. I feel that 100%. I could talk though. That's where we flourish. We flourish in the talking area.
Yeah,
we fail in a lot of stuff, but talking, we had to figure it out because well, I wasn't going to be a scholar, and
I one time when I was a kid, and they put me in the slow learning class, and my mom would tell me this story. She says, "Yeah, I came home. I was so proud. I came home and I told her, Mom, I'm the smartest one in the dumb class." and we grew up, and there's another one. It's true. We grew up so poor that I couldn't even pay attention.
My dad told me a long time ago. He said he was pretty strict on me growing up, and he would tell me, "Look, I don't care what you do. If you want to dig ditches, just be the best ditch digger that you can be.
Yeah.
Don't be lazy about it." And that's what he used to get on to me, hey, mow the grass. Well, you missed this whole strip, it could be an acre. I mowed the whole acre perfect, but I missed one strip, he was mad about the one strip. But, later on in life, I'm still trying to figure out what it helped me with, but I assume that it did help me with something. Let me see. Great stuff, guys. I tried out the peppermint, but my bees were so hungry they ate the candy quickly, so I need to try again. Hey, I bet, Bruce, when you go back in, if you saw 30 beetles in that colony, I bet you'll see less than 30 next time you go in. It took a couple weeks on the one colony, and I've actually put those oil traps in every box through. And when I go in that colony, which I've got to do a video tomorrow if the weather breaks, that I'll show the oil traps, nothing in it. I eat all the peppermints before they made it to the hives.
Need to get that 5-pound bag. That way you got some left when you get to the hive. Look like Brian put the peppermints in his today.
He had one colony, I don't know if you're familiar. You familiar with Castle Hives channel?
I see he comments on my channel. Where is he?
He's in Ohio.
Okay.
So northeastern Ohio. So he's up near Lake Erie up that way. Yeah, they're still having
cold area.
I think the snow may be gone by now, but it's pretty crazy that. Okay, here. Wait, let me just swap topics real quick. So if you were giving advice to someone who's just taking up beekeeping, what would be the thing you would say is most important?
I would say, don't read about how to keep bees. Read about how bees operate, how bees work. How do bees work in their hives? How do bees work in nature? How to understand, get understanding of bees, because it's like if somebody decides they want to be a diesel mechanic, and they say, I'm gonna be a diesel mechanic, and they go in there, but they don't know anything about combustion engines.
Right.
It doesn't make much sense. You're not going to be a good diesel mechanic.
How do you know you want to be a diesel mechanic, right? If you don't know anything about engines.
Well, that's just the analogy. Understand the bee, and by understanding the bee, you'll start without much effort becoming a good beekeeper. You will. It's a natural thing.
My thing was have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
So originally my plan was get some bees and put them in a box. Right? That was the plan.
That's it.
After that, I had no other plan. It was from videos. Oh, well, you can, when they get big, you just split them. When they get big, you just split them. And so the first year, I bought one nuke. I caught, I think it was 2 or 3 swarms. And then I had that up, and I put them in nuke boxes, right? They're all in nuke boxes, and then grew them up to 10 frames, split them. I was up to like 15. I had 15 boxes, but I didn't know. Oh, wait a minute. Hive beetles. Oh, yeah. The hive beetles came in, and then I was down to 4, right? 5. I went from 15 down to, I lost 9 of them. So I ended up overwintering 4 nukes, and then 4 nukes the following season. I learned my lesson and let them get stronger, and came through. I think I was up to 15 going into winter, and then coming out of winter, I'm at 12, right? Well, I was at 12. Then I just made splits, so I'm at 24 right now. So, yeah.
That's where I went. That's where I went into winter with 24. I come out with 20.
Wow, that's good.
Now, speaking of that, Abby losses, is it like big colony?
I think last year I was about 35%.
35.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's, I mean,
it's still below national average.
I don't know, if we take 12 and divide it by 15, 12 divided by 15 equals, so I was at 20%. 20% loss myself too. So, yeah. So, I mean, there's really either way, right? But you let the bees do, you let them do. So
you let the bees be bees.
Like I said in that last video, I said I go into my bees when I harvest honey and when I make splits. Other than that, I'll leave them alone.
That's what me and Bob was talking about before we started the live. We were just in the
we did our research on you, Mr. Ed.
And I said the biggest thing I've seen him do a few splits, and then he reverses the brood box. Other than that, he don't really mess with them that much. Go in and bother.
I don't even reverse them anymore.
Yeah, I noticed that this year. You said you weren't going to do it.
Yeah, because my thinking on that was back in when we did our fall harvest, and we did it late. We did it around it was the end of November, it's Thanksgiving time, and and we said we had such a warm winter, and when I popped that lid off that third box and I just turned all those hive beetles loose, I said, man, this is retarded. And so that's when I do the rotations, you have to undo that inner cover, and whatever is in there, they run loose. And because I didn't have pepper mints and
broke open their little corrals.
Yeah, and you bust open the corrals because they're all up there underneath that inner cover, and
taking all that heat from the bees.
Well, the bees corral them into those little corrals, and you turn them loose. And when I saw that, I said, you know what? I'm not going to do that to these bees. I'm not going to turn loose the beetles, what they've already worked on to get to. And then I started thinking about it, because reasoning why I had done that, because our bees, they go through the stores in the bottom, they move up to the top, and now they're up in the top, and we're getting ready to come into spring, so we want to get them down to the bottom, so they come up. That's all fine. It's all good. And then they say, well, that we split the box, remove the bridge comb, the burr comb, get it all ready for in a couple of weeks when we're gonna do our split. And then when you go do your split, they've already rebuilt the bridge comb. The beetles were turned loose. It's like they wasted the energy to make that bridge comb. The beetles are loose. I said, you know what? They don't do rotations in a tree. I'm not doing rotations either. So that was it. I'm not doing. Now, I do when I was doing my splits and on hives that I didn't split, that they just weren't developed enough. I did a rotation at that point. That I took that top box, which was the heavy box, and boom, shoved it down at the bottom so that she would move up. And then I actually added another super on
I can't even do the brood box reversal because I run all single hive.
Oh my gosh.
I got to get into the bees a little more often. I mean, make sure they don't swarm.
Yeah.
But that gives me more time in the yard to enjoy the bees and working with them.
Well, so how do you get your honey?
I'll pull the honey off, but instead of having to reverse boxes, get down in the brood box, I just stack my supers on top. Once they fill one, I'll pull it up and put another super underneath it instead of putting a new super on top.
So you run a single brood box?
Yeah.
All the time, and then you put an excluder on it and throw your honey box?
If it's a new super that I'm putting on with just waxed foundation, no comb, I'll leave the excluder off until the bees come up in there and start drawing. Once they start drawing and have a reason to come in there, then I'll make sure the queen's still in the bottom and put an excluder in.
You know that when you put those wax frames in there, they love to draw that stuff out. And you also know that queen loves to lay in new drawn out comb.
I mean, if she gets into the first one and lays a little bit, I don't mind too much as long as it ain't a whole lot. Now, any of my boxes that I do comb honey in, it's straight excluder. I don't allow her up at all.
Yeah. I'm helping a lady not far from the Abbey, and I put some wax foundation in there for her, and it was 7 days, because it was 7 days ago when we made the split, and man, they drew that comb out so beautiful in 7 days, and there was eggs in them. And the one the box had the queen in it.
Oh, they won't even wait. You'll see them drawing the comb out, and there'll be eggs sticking up taller than the comb.
Fresh
Bees
wax.
got to hurry up to build the comb to cap it off.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so nice to see that. So how do you apply your wax to your foundation?
I roll it with a 4-inch roller in a little 4-quart crock pot.
Yeah. I used to do it that way.
Yeah, I need to get something bigger, but like I said, I'm only around 23 hives right now, so I get a little bit.
When we were about 35 hives, I was still rolling it on, and I said, there has got to be a better way to do this. And so now I use my big kettle, and I put about 3 gallons of water in it, and you melt that whole. I did
the wax on top.
Yeah, and you just dip it right in there, boom, shake it, and it's done. Both sides.
Mike at Coon Lake Hives here had a question for you, Mr. Jeff.
Hey, Mike.
Says, is it the linden tree that you was talking about gives the equivalent nectar of 4 acres of flowers? That when you talked with Fred Dunn?
Chinese tallow.
Chinese tallow. That's what I was telling Bob. Our biggest flow down here is the tallow tree.
And there's legislation right now.
They were trying to eliminate it.
They're trying to eradicate
Chinese beetle into there.
Yep. They're trying to eradicate it. And I mean, that's kind of our bread and butter.
It is. I mean, because our privet is so sporadic, and you know, it used to be great, but it's the tallow is that and again, I don't fault the forest industry, because it's so invasive, but at the same time, they really need to get on the ball. When they clear cut, they need to take steps to plant. I don't know how it all works, but introducing another alien species to our area is not. They see just with the nutria. It just doesn't work.
Everything they've introduced, they've screwed up. I mean, wasn't there one of those fish from Japan or something, the carp that was supposed to eat the algae, and then they just nothing could kill it, and it just multiplied, and now it's a big problem, right?
It is.
Here we've got some tallow. It's not out by me that I'm aware of, but I've got kudzu, jasmine, all goldenrod, all kinds of just wild berries and stuff like that out here. So
tallow is everywhere out here, everywhere.
Before I started keeping bees, which this is my 3rd season with bees, I started in 2020. I didn't really know what the tallow tree. I knew what it was, but I didn't know what it did. I had some trees in my fence line. I started cutting everything down, and it was tallows. And it wasn't but a couple months after that I got bees and really started learning what they ate or what they foraged on. I'm like, I just cut 5 trees out. So I replanted some, and it'll take a few years, but they'll grow back up. And I planted more than what was there originally. My whole fence line, I got tallow trees and privet planted all the way down my fence line.
I have in the back of the Abbey, I've got it's 30 hives back there, and they're all under shelters. They're all under shelters, and there's 2 huge ponds back there. There's privet. There's tallow. It's where I get almost all of my honey. It's from back there.
Yeah.
When we have out yards too, that I got some great out yards, particularly one in Folsom and in Enid. Those 2, oh my goodness, those 2 produce some honey. And this year, our one in Bush, it did really good for us too. So we get some honey.
we ain't too far from the privet starting to get ready to bloom out.
It should be the end of April, beginning of May, middle of May. By middle of May, your privet is going, and that's why it's so important to have the number of bees in that hive. You want 2 boxes of bees. If you have 2 boxes of bees and it's beginning of May, middle of May, well, you're gonna get that privet flow, which pretty much feeds the bees. And by that time, when that tallow comes in, you can pull 2 boxes of honey off of one box.
Last year, I started the year with 1 hive that I overwintered, and then I got 8 nukes from my local apiary. So I started with 9 colonies. I pulled 449 pounds for my first year pulling honey.
Wow.
And my number 1 hive, I had 5 supers on it.
Jeez.
Now, it wasn't quite all the way full each one, but 8 of the 10 frames were full.
And you're running mediums for your honey supers?
Yes, sir. Yeah. All medium supers. I got a bad back, so I can't do a lot of heavy lifting.
Yeah, Charlie always complains about how hard I'm working with lifting those deep honey supers.
Again, the not reading and stuff gives us that. Hey, Charlie, why don't you grab that box? I'll grab this.
Well, now we use one of those carriers, but I mean, a box, a deep, it's 75 to 90 pounds.
Yeah,
that's what it weighs.
If I had somebody to work with me, I wouldn't mind having one of those little contraptions that you have. And
did you see the one that Mike Barry's got?
Yeah.
I
like that.
Awesome. It really is.
But I don't have nobody to help me with mine. I do them all by myself. My girlfriend, she'll go back there and feed the chickens, but she will not go past the shed near a bee.
Oh,
She'll help me label honey bottles. But if it has to do with the bee itself, nah. And then my daughter, she calls them flying demons. She don't want nothing to do with them. The boys don't.
And I had some other people that were saying they might want to jump in. You open to letting some? How long can you stay tonight, Mister?
I'm good for right now. I'll tell you, you'll notice when I'm starting nodding. That's about good.
Then we'll say, I think Mr. Ed's having technical problems.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know how many people are jumping here, and I don't know how many we can get on the screen, guys, when we do this. So if you don't get to get in and talk to Mr. Ed face to face, we apologize now. Don't think it's because we were selecting. It's first come, first serve. So
it might be good to let 1 or 2 in at a time. That way the pictures don't get too small and everybody get overwhelmed trying to look.
Well, you can't have about 1 person waiting, huh?
No,
none at the moment because we ain't put the link out to nobody.
Oh,
well, Dirt Rooster hadn't shown up like he said he
ain't
might
gonna show up. He knows better. That guy's a scallywag.
He popped in one night. He was going through a McDonald's drive-through and got on his phone and came in and we talked with him for a few minutes.
He could have brought us some food while he was at it.
Yeah, that's pretty normal time. Whenever I talk to him, he's pretty much eating. I went over to his dad's house for his birthday and surprised him. He was sitting in the chair and I snuck up.
Oh, we got someone even more special coming right now.
Oh.
Well, I'm not saying more special, but somebody you will definitely enjoy is going to come in.
I'm waiting. I'm sitting on the edge of my seat.
I just got a text message about it. So, and you guys that are sitting here watching, wait and see who's going to show up in here. Oh, and I spoke his name into existence, y'all.
Oh,
he found you, Mr. Jeff.
Oh, and this was not who I was talking about. That's also going to join.
Hey, I got to tell him. What time is it right now?
Am I taking up somebody else's spot?
No,
Nope.
come on in. You're taking up 2-person spots.
Hey,
Bob said it. I didn't.
Hey, I used to weigh 400 pounds. That's not a joke. I showed Lee the picture. I used to weigh 400 pounds, and I actually went and had the sleeve gastrectomy and lost down to 205, and I thought I was looking a little bit thin. So I gained a little bit back after that, but not crazy. But you'll see. We got a famous pianist beekeeper that's supposedly going to join us here shortly, and Randy probably knows who that is by the pianist reference, but if not, he'll get it in a minute.
Definitely.
So you out wrangling bees today?
I was. You know, it's funny you say wrangling because I got something nobody else has got. You probably can't see this. This is the only shirt Mr. Ed ever signed that says "Let's wrangle."
Let's wrangle.
I like that.
I remember signing that. Randy had like 50 hats, and each time I'm signing, he's going $40, $40.
He signed it under duress.
Did you put it on? I'm surprised it hadn't been on eBay listing already. You could retire.
I was waiting for him to hit Hollywood, so it'd be worth something.
You're coming with me.
I'll carry your luggage.
You
Yappy down there in the comments.
Well, yeah, so he gave himself up already. So Yappy's supposed to be hopping in here with us in a second.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
And then I'm going to have to just sit back because you guys will take the whole show away because you guys will be like everything. That'd be
Last
great.
night I talked to Randy yesterday, and he was doing a cutout. He was going to do the cutout at 7:30 at night. So Randy does his best work in the dark. That's it.
Yeah.
And the reason he does is because his hand is so big. You know, this is like his hand, and trying to fit into space this big. It's
Yeah,
like
I thought about
his little
retiring
finger.
because yesterday he had me all feeling bad. He said, "You're just too big for this job. You need to find something else."
I think he could get a disability.
Hey, Bob, you think Randy would have liked getting the bees that I had to get out of that tree the other day?
I don't. Did you see that video?
No,
He had
not
a
yet.
F-150, and in the back of the F-150, how tall was the ladder?
Had a 12-foot ladder with about a 12 to 15 foot aluminum pole with 5-gallon bucket strapped to the top of that.
Oh no, not
Hey, that's
me.
OSHA approved right there.
I
And
stand on the ground.
Yeah, on the ground.
I wanted to, but I wanted them bees too.
well, he was at the farmer's market selling honey, and they're like, "Hey, can you come here for a minute?"
Yeah.
Got
I was on the phone with Bob whenever they called me over there to come look at something. I said, "What you got?" They said, "Look up there. Big old swarm of bees. It looked like a good 5 pounds of bees." It completely filled a 5-frame nuke plus about 3 inches inside the little lid that I had on it.
Come on in, Yappy.
I'm messing with my lights.
You like it in the dark anyway, Rista.
Yeah, I got some Lume
Yeah,
Cube
cool.
lights. I've been using on my cutouts.
Are you going, Mr. Ed? You trying to go to Hive Life next year?
Oh yeah, I was actually sick. I'd gotten sick. Randy had called me up. Him and Elizabeth were going up, and he called me up, and I said, "Dude, I'm sick. I can't make it." And he goes, "Good, because I didn't want you to come anyway."
Nothing like
Did
friends,
you
right?
tell me that?
I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. Me and Bob's already talked about a few other ones. I'm going to Hive Life next year, but I'll be standing with Ricky Rourke in the Horizontal Bees booth.
And
He asked me to come up there.
That's a
and
good
give him
spot
a
to
hand
be.
with
You
it.
get a lot of traffic.
Yeah, he come up there and asked me give him my hand with it, so I'm going to be with him next year.
and I'm working on it. It hasn't come to fruition yet, but Swarm Commander's made right here in my hometown. And the owner of Swarm Commander is a disabled vet who's going through kidney failure. and dialysis. So I'm working on trying to get a swarm commander booth set up there and help them out, and see if we can make that happen. Another.
You see this here in the comments, Bob? We've been asking somebody before to come in this little chat with us, and either they didn't have a camera or they couldn't find it.
Now he found his camera, right?
Tonight somebody found it.
Oh, now Mike's got his camera. For 3 weeks we've been saying, "Come on in, Mike. Free link. Come on and join."
We had to get the big dogs in here for them.
We got Mr. Ed and Randy and the big dogs running tonight. Oh, my camera. I got my camera now. Randy is taller in real life.
Yeah. You ever see me standing next to Randy? I look like a little baby.
Well, I saw that.
That's just when he's holding up his hand.
I saw the video with you and Mike Berry, and Mike Berry looked like a giant compared to you. And
I'm a runt. That's why I can get in those spots that Randy can't get into. Of course, I don't want to get in the spots that Randy gets into. He likes doing hard cutouts. Oh my gosh. That one he posted like 2 or 3 weeks ago in that trailer. That's just like, it made me ill watching him do that.
Yeah, I do the ones that everybody else turns down.
Well, you can charge more money that way.
You can.
Well, why didn't you get one of them other 5 guys that came out here to do it?
Yeah.
Well, look, Randy, I had one I looked at yesterday that would be right up your alley. It's in a turret type structure. It's a stairwell.
Yeah.
The bees are coming in from the outside, going in that ceiling joist all the way across, and it's up about 25 feet up in the air with the stairs going up it. There's no way to access this thing. It's totally unsafe. So I think you should do the job.
Yeah, give him my number.
I know how you love doing heights, and this thing is, man, this is the
I put Pete on a pole and send him up there. You seen that paint pole I use for catching them high swarms? I take Pete to it.
How tall are you, Randy?
Somewhere between 5'4" and 5'8".
You gotta be taller than that.
Yeah, I'm 6'3".
All right, yeah, you and I are about the same height then.
Yeah.
You got me.
I got a thick head of hair and with a pair of shoes on. Everybody says, "You look 6'5". I'm like, nah, not really.
Well, I see.
There's a video that Randy and I did. It was a cutout that Randy was doing in Mississippi, and I went over there, and I had brought a bunch of stuff to bring him, and I shot a video on that about me giving him stuff. And Randy is standing right next to me, and I'm about 3 foot shorter than him.
When I went over, I tell you how the size difference in us two. When I went over there to do that video with him signing stuff, it's an old video, and y'all might not have saw it, but I got him to jump on my back. I laid down on the ground. I told him jump on my back like he was beating me up for making him sign stuff, and he stood up on my back and said, "Are you on yet?" He said, "I don't want to hurt you." I said, "Get on with both feet." I am on with both feet.
Yeah, that was right.
I'm gonna have to go find that one.
There was another one he and I did. Is another one I went out there in Mississippi, and I'm trying to shoot my intro, and the guy's always like watching me, and I'm shooting the intro, and all of a sudden he sneaks up behind me, and he goes, "Oh, wait, what are you doing?" That was that one. Man, it was a great intro. It was great. Imagine Randy, 6'12" Randy, sneaking. That's a joke.
Mr. Ed did sneak up on me one time and scared the fool out of me.
Was it Fred Flintstone used to do it on his toenails? When you walk?
They had another time Randy came over and saw me, and I don't know if y'all remember the snakes that I used to keep in the box, and I had the snakes in the box, and I got Randy to open it, and he gets scared, and he had his wife Elizabeth was with him, and we put it all back together. And she walked in, and she just walked right up to that box. We didn't just say anything. And you remember that, Randy? She opened that thing up. And she like to die, and then she was yelling at him, "Why'd you do that?" And he didn't
starts whipping me with that snake.
I've seen that one.
Well, Lee used to breed snakes.
Yeah, I had Colombian red-tailed boas, but you know the snakes in a cane they have the spring out.
Yeah,
that's what they had in the box.
Yeah.
I saw that video. They opened the box.
I used to do a bunch of those at the end of the videos. Anybody came into the honey house, I was going to put the snakes on them.
I think I've seen you do it with some school kids before and everything.
Yeah, that was probably the best one. It was a bunch of little 7th graders from Sacred Heart Academy, and I had them in the honey house, and I got them to come real close to the box, and I opened up, and 2 of them fell down.
Yeah. Speaking of,
I did sneak up on you one time. I snuck up on you and Joseph Rawls out there behind the honey.
Oh yeah.
I stood there and videoed for 5 minutes before y'all knew I was there.
It's hard to believe that guy could actually sneak, but he does. He's good.
But sneaking around and spying on people, I did a lot of that for 30 years.
I didn't know you did that detective work.
Yeah, investigating people.
Man, oh man.
That's where you got into the camera work.
I was in the cameras when I was in my teens. Surprisingly, I got my first camera when I was probably 18, I guess. One of them little Kodak disc cameras. I don't think probably most people wouldn't even know what they are, but I never really was into photography per se, but I always had to have a camera with me, so I was always taking pictures, and I didn't really have an artistic eye, but I just had to show a scene. Here's damage, or here's whatever it is.
Now,
so I didn't really. It didn't have to be
an autistic eye.
It didn't have to be pretty. It just had to show something. Yeah. And it was just a few years ago I really started kind of studying up on what it took to make an interesting shot.
Now, what kind of camera do you shoot with?
I've got a Fuji X-H1, Nikon D500, a Nikon N4004, Nikon, I forget what, Canon Coolpix.
You're good with a Nikon. I'm a Nikon shooter. I got the D7200 and a D810.
I got a D5300 and a D500 and N4004 is a film camera, and another a D5100 or something.
I got 3200. Right
well,
here.
I got all of you guys beat. You know why?
I got an iPhone.
I got a Charlie to do my.
You got a cameraman. Nah, that's what I do on the side. Wedding photography sometimes. Different pictures for people.
My mirrorless is the Fujifilm X-H1, and that's the most expensive camera, the most expensive lenses I have. But the D500 I shoot with more just because I like it better.
To me, I like the D500 because it was faster.
Yeah.
All right. Switching topics with the you guys were talking about going to the school. I've actually when COVID hit, I did a virtual field trip for a bunch of 4th graders where it was the Zoom meeting basically, and I did a slide presentation over the computer and then signed in from my cell phone, and I walked out to the bee yard and opened up a nuke. Well, this year they contacted me 2 days ago about coming back this year, next month. So, but I think I'm going to get an observation hive. Do you guys have any recommendations on which one is the Man Lake one, the best one to get for carrying to a school? Do you know? Or
I like the Man Lake one. It's heavy though. If you're going to be carrying it around school, you probably want to put it on a little dolly or something.
Okay.
Randy, tell them what you just did about a week ago, Randy. Randy went to little was it kindergartens or
yeah, it was K5 through 5th grade.
So yeah, this will be all of the 4th graders in the school. I guess they have testing for the older ones, so the 4th grade don't have it. So they always call me. Well, last 2 years they've called me to come and do a beekeeping lesson. So
yeah, this is the first time I've ever spoken to kids. It was interesting because I was one little kid there kept raising his hand for questions, and I'd say, okay, you in the blue shirt, you in the second row blue shirt, and he's just staring at me with his hand up. I'm like, this kid's messing with me. You know?
Oh, they asked the best questions though.
That's what I say. Me and
no,
Bob
he
said
didn't have
asked the
questions.
hardest
He just wanted to ask something.
Can I go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
You probably made him wet himself because you didn't answer. He
would think of the question when they say, okay, and they call his name. If they called his name, he'd ask the question. But I was like, this kid's just messing with me.
All right, so we have Brian from Castle Hives is actually in the waiting room. He was on his phone in the waiting room, and now
he was still on the phone with Yappy.
Okay.
Hey, Mr. Ed.
Hey, Miss Elizabeth.
Hey. He said that kid was messing with him, and I was standing behind him, shining a flashlight at the back of his head. I'm over there in the dark.
Standing back there with the bunny ears.
I would have been on the wall if I'd have thought it got y'all a good response.
But did they seem like they learned the children got something out of it?
Yeah, they seemed to really enjoy it. There's some kind of special spring break thing. So there's about 50 or so kids, and I did that thing that day, and the next day they went to an exotic animal farm, and the teacher that invited me to do it grew up next to my parents, and she spoke with my dad the next day when she stopped to pick up some honey, and she said, Randy did so good, and the kids just loved it, and they at the animal park, every time they'd see something flying, they were just talking about the bee guy, and don't move real fast, and they were giving each other pointers. I was like, oh, good, because I didn't know. You don't ever know, because them kids were gape mouth, just staring, most of them. But I had a PowerPoint and pictures to go along with it. So
I'll tell you, the best feeling was a couple weeks after that. I kind of put it, out of my mind for the most part. I got a nice big manila envelope in the mail, and it had a bunch of drawings of honeybees and thank you for speaking to us from all the kids. The teachers put it together. So, it was a nice feeling.
Yeah.
It was almost like talking to Mr. Ed.
That gets boring real quick.
Yeah, you see all the stuff on the wall behind him, all the love gifts.
Yeah. What's that silver one right over his left shoulder there? What is that?
He's got the keys to a city back there.
Yeah.
The play button.
Yeah, I asked that it was he's a judge that comes to the Abbey a whole lot. And I went, he had asked me to make a gavel for him. And it took me like 7 years. I never even made it. Somebody else made it for him. And he gave me that. It was they declared it Jeff Horchoff Day back in that, whatever it was. And I got a key to the city of Terrebonne, the parish of Terrebonne. And I said, can I use this to get out of jail? He goes, no, you're going to be in jail.
Mr. Ed waited for the statute of limitations to run out before he sent the gavel to him. 7 years.
Yeah, those people give me stuff, and some of the stuff that it's just so nice. I mean, a lot of that stuff is all handmade stuff, and I appreciate the people doing that for me. So I just put it on the wall.
Yeah.
Mr. Ed in LSU purple shirt.
I actually did go to LSU for I never graduated, but I went there for 5 semesters. And then I decided, no, I don't want to go to school anymore.
Well, I went to the White House. I never worked there, but I went on the tour.
You're working the detail?
Yeah, I went on the tour.
So Randy, how many hives are you running right now?
Including nukes, I'm probably at 60 right now, but this weekend that'll reduce quickly.
Hey, tell them the story. What happened on your birthday? What you found in your yard when we went out there?
Oh yeah. I thought you were talking about you coming up behind me because I just
I started telling that story too, but
yeah, I just woke up from my nap. I'm sitting in a recliner and he comes up behind me and puts his hands over my eyes and didn't say anything. And I didn't move. I just sat there. I'm like, okay, whose kid is this with their hands over my eyes?
Whose kid? Because he's reaching over.
little bitty hands over my. we rode, but after we rode around to my dad's backyard where I've got some hives back there, and somebody has stolen some of my hives. I mean,
and what they leave behind, Randy?
All my good equipment.
No, what'd you find in the yard? What?
Oh, it was a shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lady's shoe.
A lady's shoe.
Someone stole your hives out of your backyard?
Yeah, some I had in my dad's backyard. Yeah, it's not anywhere that you. I mean, Jeff can tell you, it's not something you'll see driving down the road. It's a dead end road. It's hidden. So
somebody had to know it was there. It was an inside job.
Yeah, somebody had to know my dad or have been there before, and it had to be a beekeeper.
Yeah, I can't even get people to drive in my yard when they see the bee colonies. They're like, stop at the road, and I got to walk all the way down to the road to get them. They're like, oh, I saw the bees flying. Yeah, they do that. You know, so yeah, they have to be very comfortable, because here, I don't know, it's just a natural fear that people got of getting stung. I'm just resolute in the fact if you're going to have bees, you're going to take a couple stings every now and again.
Yeah, these were some big hives. One of them was a 4-stack, and full, 4 10-frame deeps full, and it was about ready to be split. And so it was somebody that had some gear to get it. You couldn't have got that without being suited up.
You didn't see any like truck marks, because I know they weren't trying to walk all them boxes.
No, you could pull right up to it almost.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I know in a couple of my yards, I had the little trail cams that are cellular, so they'd connect to my phone. If it noticed any motion, it would send a picture to my phone instantly. I done that when I first started, just trying it out. But
yeah, I need to get some of those. I have some trail cams, but they don't have the cellular, so I have to go back and check the cards.
Yeah. The thing I like about the cellular, even if they steal your camera, it'll give you a GPS location where that camera was taken to for every picture that was taken. So if they steal your camera thinking they're getting away with it, they still caught.
Wow.
All right, we're going to bring Brian in now if he's off the phone. Brian, we're adding you in. Get off the phone. Tell Yappy he can join the link just like everybody else.
Yappy trying to download Chrome right now.
Yeah, Yappy got me on the phone.
Yappy, push the link, man.
Yappy's yapping.
I agree with Sarah on this. Whenever
right
my hands start cramping and I get out in the bee yard, if I get stung, 1 or 2 good stings, my hands feel good for a week or so. It takes all that arthritis pain away.
Did you send Yappy the link?
Yeah, he got it. Yeah.
Randy
he's on a new Mac, so he's got to download Chrome, and
You were serious.
I'm being serious. I ain't fibbing.
You tell him if he had Windows, he wouldn't have to worry about that.
I can't fib with Mr. Ed on here and Dirt Rooster.
Where'd Randy go? Oh, there
he is.
Yeah. I had to put some headphones on. I couldn't hardly hear anybody. I was leaning in like this trying to listen.
Oh, my gosh. How's it coming?
Now I can hear you.
All right. Well,
okay.
Yappy's trying to join in on his new computer.
It's installing.
So
yeah.
The max like 35 minutes from now.
This is a theme with Yappy, because last time he had signal problems.
Well, last time he just got out of the dryer. Remember that?
Yeah. He was fluffy.
So I got to figure out his luck, how I can just have like a triple deep swarm just fly into my backyard and land in one of my boxes and just be happy.
And then get millions of views on the video.
Yeah, then get millions of views on the video.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe it if I didn't post this video for these million views.
That's because you got to be hyped for 15 minutes straight.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew, Granddad.
From the videos I've seen, though, you just got to watch out with Yappy when he's on a ladder with a knife.
Yeah, you do. He'll slice your fingers off.
Yeah. You like the guy Randy there.
Your Randy, your hive is going to be done in like a day.
My hive. Oh yeah. I forgot about that.
See,
I got the alert today that you shipped my hive out already.
Yep. Do you seriously want me to sign the side of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or the roof or whatever.
I would have known that was an option. I would have clicked that little checkbox on mine.
Yeah. I need the autograph
on
it. Either on the lid or the side.
He put a message on his, said, autograph mine, please.
I might just have to send mine back then, return to shipper.
There you go.
Ship it again.
Denied.
Right. Yeah.
Those little, Mr. Ed, have you seen those little? I don't think Mr. Ed's seen your beehives.
Yeah, I have. The long hives?
No, the little 3D printed ones that he does.
Oh, no,
that's got frames and feeders and everything.
No.
Yeah.
Brian,
I don't want.
Let me grab one.
Yeah, I like autograph stuff. I've got a whole bunch of stuff signed by Mr. Ed that I can't figure out what to do with it. I was gonna take it to a state meeting or something and give them away because I feel bad selling that stuff after he signed it because you know it just killed the value. But but I got that. I got stuff signed by Hornet King, Yappy, and I don't know who else.
That's a super, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Was that done with the 3D printer?
Yeah.
Wow.
You got everything. The Phoenix clears, frame.
Here's
feeder.
the bottom one.
Yeah.
It's got the feeder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I forgot about that. That would have been a surprise when it showed up. Hey, look.
It's got a hive stand. It's got the little bottom board.
Wow.
You know, the queen excluder,
Wow.
the inner cover. Yeah.
Does it come with bees?
But wait, there's more.
I think the orders the other night did.
That's little bees.
Little bees.
But wait, there's more.
Oh no.
If I order right now.
Oh man.
All right, I've got to ask. So us older guys know who Mr. Ed is on television. Yeah. Did your nickname Mr. Ed have anything to do with that television show?
All right, so let's.
Are you coming on?
You know what my last name is?
Okay.
Horchoff.
All right, so
all right. I'm gonna hop off the phone.
Horse trough.
All right, buddy.
I got you.
All right.
So that's in high school I was called Trough, and then when I started working at the post office, that horse thing, and you might not notice, you know, Randy's got some pretty large hands, but is you that? When I'm lacking hands, I got in teeth. Back when my teeth was so big when I was born, it took me 3 years just to be able to lift up my head.
Okay, here's a story about the teeth. The first cutout me and Jeff ever did, and we hadn't met long, and I was kind of feeling him out because you know I like to clown, and I can throw some shade on some people, and we were doing a cutout up on a ladder, and he comes down. We're pulling soffit out from under an elevated house. He comes down with a gutter nail this long. We had been up there pulling nails with a hammer and stuff. He comes down with a gutter nail this long. He didn't have any tools on him. And I did not mean anything by this. I didn't mean how it sounded, but I said, how'd you get that out? Did you pull it with your teeth? And as soon as it came out of my mouth, because my filters broke most of the time. As soon as it came out of my mouth, I was like, and he busted out laughing. I was like, okay, cool.
Look, that cutout, Randy.
Hello?
Randy.
Hello?
Looking mighty sharp, Yappy.
What's up, Mr. Magoo?
Where? I can't see Mr. Ed.
I'm there, brother. I'm there.
Hang on, let me get my Mr. Ed beard on.
I like that name. Yappy got there tonight.
Yappy, awesome.
Oh my.
Jeff, was that?
How's the audio? Am I way too loud? Am I way too soft?
You're good.
You sound good to me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Jeff, was that cutout I dumped fire ants all over myself?
Yeah, that's you had reached up in there, and they got all when you pull that insulation down.
Yeah, fire ants dumped all over me.
Yeah, that and remember that the son, he was staying there almost the whole time when we were doing that removal.
Uh-huh.
And then we did another one not far from that, where that was the first time I ever had seen it. You had that. It was a big hive way up in there, and we took all the comb out, and the bees were still in there, and you had that vial with half a dozen old dead queens in it, and you splashed that alcohol on the on that pier. And man, that bees just come running down to that thing. And I said, man, that is a good trick.
Yeah, moved them down there where we could vac them.
Yeah, that really was. I was impressed. I learned something. I didn't even remember that. And then the other one where Randy also, I hate to admit it, but I actually learned some stuff in my younger days of doing this. But Randy just loves to get on high places, especially, when he doesn't have a safety net. And so he's on the top of a hospital with a swarm hanging over the edge. And he gets an old frame, and you can see his hand shaking. And he puts it down there by that swarm. And I'll be a son of a gun if that queen didn't get up on that frame. You remember that one, Randy?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I said, look at that. So I used that trick too.
Yeah.
Hey, Yappy, tell us about that swarm in your video yesterday. That was insane. Oh, now we can't hear him.
Oh, his audio killed again.
See, we got to explain to him he needs a Windows computer. That MacBook messing with him.
No.
All right, Magoo.
Before I tell you about the swarm, let's talk about that Windows computer. Bought a brand new laptop back 9 months ago. 4K edit, super processing, blah blah blah, bells and whistles, everything. Well, a couple weeks ago, I'm out doing the StreamYard with Brian and a few other people. Don, go sleep. So something happened during that stream where all of a sudden my Rode mics are trying to update. I got updates coming in from the backside on the computer. Something didn't Yahoo right. Well, about 3 or 4 days later, I go back to use the Rode Connect program, the wireless mics, blah, blah, blah. Nothing's working. Got to the point where I was so mad with it that I literally completely wiped the entire laptop, started reinstalling stuff, still didn't get it to work right. Now I'm mad. Called Rode. Rode can't. They don't know. Oh, no, it works fine for everybody else, but not you, Yappy. So after saying, forget it, I'll just use the microphones without the Connect program, blah, blah, blah. Well, then all of a sudden, now my little GoPro webcam and my OBS studio and all that stuff, now none of that starts working. And I'm going, what the crap is going on here? Best thing that I can figure out when you start watching the dominoes fall is Windows is about to go from Windows 10 to Windows 11, and they're updating drivers and they're doing all this crap in the background, and none of my stuff's working. I threw my hands up, and Greg Burns and I were talking about it, and he said, you just need to go Mac, baby. He said, once you go Mac, you never go back. And I'm like, yeah. He said, the beautiful thing about a Mac, he said, you just plug stuff in and it works. And I said, yeah, okay. Buddy of mine owns a pawn shop down in town, and I just happened to stop back, but look at,
my old GoPro 4, it still works on Windows 10, but when I bought the GoPro 10, the new codec system, Windows took it off, so I had to install a little $1 patch, 99-cent patch, and everything worked.
Yeah. Well, I'm technically set. If you could see all the cards, let me look at. You see that right there? That ain't no dang piano, but I probably could buy one with what that thing cost. All right.
Yeah. Yappy called me stressing. He said, "Tell me why I shouldn't spend this money."
Yeah. So I stopped by my buddy's pawn shop just looking for something Mac related, and lo and behold, sitting on that little bottom shelf right there in the corner, hidden away, is that brand spanking new used 14-inch M1 Mac with 10 cores and 1 terabytes, and it's got polished finish, and it's in a box, and man, it was beautiful. I said, how much do you want for that beautiful computer? He said, $1,900. I said, how much will you give me for my 2 kids and my dog? He said, not that much. So, anyway, I had to go stand over there on the corner washing windows as cars was going by. Got my foot run over 3 times. All right, and I'm still kind of limping, but
Hey, look at that dirt rooster mug.
I bought that computer. Now I'm this is a brand new Mac, and
That's how I run them.
Get in here and say, "Hey, Randy."
That's how I run them.
Man, I tell you, I am honored. This is the first time that I've got to see Mr. Ed face to face in a conversation. Me and that man have never met.
Let's do the Guardian plug.
Never met?
Oh no, that's
Never met.
My Guardian sticker's stuck over here, so I can't pull it off.
I was going to do the Guardian plug. I just realized that's the Honeybee Tennessee hat right there.
My swag game is way off.
I was telling the story, and everybody just started talking. What are we having? Sunday dinner?
Believe it or not, Yappy, all my videos that I'm doing on about a 9-year-old Windows laptop.
God.
I got the laptop, a couple of 32-inch monitors.
If you never update that crap, it'll work out fine. But I'm telling you, if you update it, your Zoom don't play, your microphone don't work, your GoPro don't work. I mean, my goodness, I've got enough stuff here. I could put a down payment on Mr. Ed's house.
We're just going to keep holding stuff up.
I got some.
Well, Brian's drinking some of my famous apple pie.
Look how clear this is. That's from
my early spring.
I can see that.
Real light.
Lindsay Homestead Farms.
That's how mine was.
Look at that patch.
Matt and Sarah work here.
Yeah. You're on TV.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us about this. Everybody just randomly holding stuff up.
Show and tell, baby.
Yeah.
Well, I would say if you guys haven't subscribed to these guys' channels, go and subscribe. But considering them combined, probably have 500,000 subs, and
probably more than that.
Yeah, some of my other honey. Yep, my fall honey. Before I did a label.
That's your label.
That's the label right there.
Just blue painter's tape.
That's how the Abbey honey looks when you pick it up. Hand labeled.
How's that stuff taste there, Brian?
It's good.
That's not sweet tea, y'all. Just to let you know, it's not.
That's what he's using for a chaser after the Hive Alive.
Don't be listening to Bob.
Don't drink sweet tea up north. You've been up there and bought any tea at a restaurant that does not come with sugar in it.
No, they say we got sweet and low.
Right.
But they don't say got. We have some sweet and low.
Y'all fixing to have some sugar?
And then it doesn't dissolve in the cold tea.
I have a question. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Should I be taking notes? I'm just curious.
This one right here, this will be worth millions in a little while.
Yeah, it's no more.
It's no more.
It's beekeeping with Natalie now.
Yeah.
She said, "Mama, I'm not a girl. I'm a woman." That's beekeeping with Natalie.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, who all here is going to have a life next year?
Damon told me I wasn't invited.
No,
you said that Randy and I can't stay in the same motel.
Lee's already got his booked for next year.
I've already got mine booked 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
Really?
They gave
you
him
call
20%
early enough,
off.
you get a 20% discount too.
Oh wow. What hotel?
Wilderness or whatever, right next to the convention center.
Okay.
Oh.
I
The
can't remember the name of it.
So Yappy.
Yeah.
What happened? Swarm.
The one
huge.
the video yesterday. Yeah,
He was huge.
I was excited as you. I could hear it in your voice. I was like, "Oh man, why can't that happen to me?" It's usually that might have been one of mine. I don't know.
I tell you, I've had 3 or 4 people have actually said, "Hey, check the color of her dot to see if that was my bees." Left their house and come to live with me.
Come on, Brian.
See if she's numbered.
You got to chase her now.
Lee, it is not going to happen.
Hey, that was Bruce. He started it.
Yeah, Bruce started it.
Yeah,
I had
it only happens on
PTSD
Bruce's stuff.
after
Now
that.
Bruce jumped in here and we got spammers.
We still got to watch Bruce take some hive alive or pollen patty 1. He ain't done
Yeah.
yet.
I don't.
DP said, "Mr. Ed came in as smaller than you. You can be a giant if you go to Hive Life this year." I actually made a comment on one of his posts. I said he was next to Natalie. And I said, "Well, at least Cayman's taller than the teenage girl."
Not
Not too much.
not much.
Probably
longer,
not this
Mark.
coming year.
Yeah, probably not.
Not this. She'll hit her growth spurt.
Yeah.
So she's taller than me then.
Well,
Yeah,
I have
Much longer.
if
How many
wasn't for my
videos
back,
has
I'd
Randy
probably be
put
about
out where
6
he's gone out
2.
to his storage yard and found he had bees in his boxes?
Do what? I didn't hear.
I said, how many times has Randy gone out to his storage area and found out he's got swarms in his boxes?
Oh,
A bunch.
lots.
I know a couple of them.
Lots.
Most times,
Yeah.
what happens? He goes out there and the bees are repairing the boxes to move into them.
It's stronger when they propylize them like that.
You don't believe in no welfare bee. You got to work to be in my yard.
You gotta work. You ain't gonna come here and just lay around.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I've got a stack out there that moved in late summer, and a bunch of mediums, and I got to split it up. It's gonna be a big one.
The propolis holding the boxes together.
No, that's actually some good
Wax moth.
cypress boxes.
Wax moth wedding holding them together.
But I'm not going to be using mediums anymore, so I'm gonna gift that to somebody.
Did you try the peppermints yet, Randy?
Yeah, I bought a whole big old bag of it, and I put it in a bunch of nukes I split up, but I haven't been back into them to see what they look like. So I don't know how often you're supposed to be dropping them in there, but I put four peppermints in each nuke, so that ought to hold them for a little while.
I had it in a double deep colony that I did a demoray on, and after they ate the peppermint, I put the beetle traps in it just to see if I caught any beetles after it was gone.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a beetle in it or in the beetle traps. So
Wow. Go ahead.
I just put peppermint in mine today.
Huh. Yeah, I'm trying it, and also I forget who it was the other day said he noticed that all of his solid bottom hives had way less beetles than his screen bottoms, and I don't have a lot of screen bottoms left, but I've been getting over to trying to palletize more stuff, so I'm thinking the solid bottom issue may also help things out a little bit, but they're cheaper to build and easier to build than screen bottoms, so I'm gonna kind of phase out any screen bottoms I've got left.
Everything that I'm running right now is solid bottoms.
Yeah,
I've only got one screen bottom in my yard, and
I have both.
I'll say that the beetles are indiscriminate.
Yeah, I think so too, but all my screens are the bottoms are in bad shape anyway, so I'm just going over to solids.
The screens, the boards, the sides.
The screen, yeah. Well, the bottoms is what I'm focusing on right now. Thank you.
You got to start somewhere.
Yeah, so I'm getting a bunch of. I'm getting a bunch of pallets.
I've only seen, I believe, two beetles so far this year.
Wow.
So let's see, pull this. So this is what I mean.
Oh, look at that.
That's what my yards are looking like now, the way I have them set up.
Huh.
Randy, I know you're crying right now.
That's too nice. I wouldn't even know where to start.
No way, I couldn't do that either.
I wouldn't even know where to start throwing trash in that yard.
Yeah.
Walk out there and won't even recognize it's a beehive. Is that a beehive?
Yeah.
I figure I keep it a little neater around there. Hopefully they won't get in too bad.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. Especially here in the South.
That looks like Randy's wife took care of those boxes.
I know, it's funny. It's funny that somebody stole my bees, but they didn't take my extra equipment that was sitting there.
And it was better than the boxes.
Yeah.
Hey, did you sign those boxes? That's probably why.
No. No, I didn't sign them.
Shoot.
This is the quietest I've heard Yappy on any stream.
I know.
Audio's not working.
You not
You
feeling well today?
you can't get a word in edgewise with Mr. Ed in the room.
Yappy's just probably dealing with a headache from wearing them Magoo glasses.
No. I'm sitting on an ice pack right now for how much I paid for this dang computer.
Oh my God.
Anybody ready to graft?
Lee, I think I got the same darn headset.
They have them on Better Be at one price, but I found the same brand on Amazon, half price.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Yep, Amazon.
And it was
And-
quicker shipping too.
I have word from Oprah said that mine were made by, there was a very nice 8-year-old boy that made my set of glasses. So
was it in Martha
Quality
Stewart's
work.
shop or
no. This was one of Oprah's.
one of Oprah's?
One of Oprah's sweatshops.
One of Oprah's sweatshops that a nice 8-year-old boy made my set of glasses.
Did he
for.
sign it? Did he sign the glasses?
Well, they don't
Yep.
know English, so they couldn't. Yeah.
They put an X on it.
Yeah.
Now
In
watch,
fact-
we're gonna get blocked now. They're gonna pull down the video. It'll be like it never happened.
Right.
Yeah.
It was Inspector number 4, but it was in Chinese.
Brian, you and your little boy stories. Jeez.
Yeah, we're grafting down here. Well, I say we're grafting. People down here started grafting about 3 weeks ago. I hadn't grafted anything. I've been buying cells. So, yeah, down here 3 weeks.
Yeah, I just learned that one of the biggest nuke providers for the United States is an hour away from me, and I've been looking for someone to get queens and stuff from down here.
Who's that?
Cutic. They provide all the bees to Man Lake, Date Ant, and Better Bee. They sold like 11,000 nukes last year.
Wow.
So, and they're an hour away. So I called them up. Hey, any chance you guys got any queens? Oh yeah. Hour drive, pick them up, come back. Their whole refrigerator incubator setup was just full of queen cells.
Wow.
So, thanks, Bruce. We appreciate you, buddy.
See you on the next one.
And
Bye, Bruce.
you know, Mr. Ed's got to get up in a few hours. So
Yeah, I'm you notice, Yappy, I'm getting quieter and quieter. You know why? My eyelids, they drop.
they're getting heavier and heavier.
Just gonna keep going like this.
Sometimes Bruce will call me up about 7:30 and tell me a little good night story, and
Yeah.
things.
Well, Bob, what was that, Bob? 2 nights ago, I took my headache medicine. I accidentally took my sleep medicine at the same time before the live even started.
And then I
I
put
got to
him
get
to
up
sleep.
3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning.
We don't really, when we start these live streams, we don't really put a time limit on it. We just feel when people want to stop talking about bees, then we'll
Yeah.
stop.
We
So,
stopped talking about bees right before Rooster came on.
Yeah.
Right.
Like Bob said, I mean, we just go and go. Sometimes it might be an hour and a half. We've made 5.5 hours before.
Oh, my goodness.
well, we usually toss a link down there so anybody can come in and cycle through.
Mhm.
And, obviously we would have had 50 people in here tonight trying to get in line. We wouldn't have been able to get everybody in. So, I mean, when we wrangled Mr. Ed in to doing this thing, we said, hey, we understand if you can only stay for a few minutes. We just appreciate you coming in.
Mhm.
Look, hour and 45 minutes later, he's still here.
Still hanging in there.
I'm sinking.
But see, we strung it out because then we pulled Randy in, which made him stay longer. Then
Well,
Yappy came in, which made
that's
it
really. I was holding out till Yappy came up because Yappy and I have talked several times, and we still to this day have not seen each other eye to eye.
Yeah, he didn't want me to get in here without him. He wanted to be here to defend himself.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm on the
hopefully,
phone with Brian, and Brian's
everybody
like, Yappy, they're talking about you, man. You need to get in there.
Well, I've been knowing
everybody gets to
Randy
see
for
each other
I don't know
next
how
year.
many years, and I've never seen him eye to eye either. I haven't seen him eye to eye.
I had a belly button, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
If everything works out good, maybe everybody can see each other at Hive Life.
That reminds me, Jeff. I needed to tell you about that bald spot. You need to have it looked at.
Where is it? Where is it?
It's right in the top.
Right here?
Watch next Mr. Ed video that comes out. It's going to have a sponsorship by Keeps.
What?
The hair club for men.
Oh.
This episode is brought to you by Abby Honey and Keeps.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Colgate to sponsor me. I'm wearing their logo right over.
Well, you could always get those gold bling teeth, and then you could just have like the bling people that are sponsoring you.
Mike said his favorite video was the 21 queen cells found in your huge hive and a removal.
That removal, it's and I know Yappy, Randy, y'all know it too. That when you're editing that stuff, you're just focusing on your editing and not really all the really particulars of the details of what's going on. And yet in that video, I had numerous people saying they hear the queen piping. The queens were piping in there, and I went back and sure enough, they were in there, but I never heard them until I even was told that they were in there. That was incredible. Ralph was like a surgeon cutting those cells out. Just keep on cutting, keep on cutting. And all those cells went to one of the guys in our bee club, and he made his splits off of because we had all our splits at that time.
I got a little question for Randy and Mr. Ed at the same time. Who's winning the swarm count so far this year?
I'm sure he is.
I'm like both of us. I have not had time to fool with swarms. I caught one in Randy's league. You caught one.
Bruce?
Yeah, I'm at one.
So y'all each got one?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm ahead of y'all. I got
that
two.
means I'm winning. I got 3.
Oh, you beat
That was 3 in one day, Yappy. That one you caught, that was 3.
I got two this weekend. I got one Saturday and one Sunday.
Well, I can tell you this. If you'll ask Randy, you know what? I got one out of a pickup truck.
Yeah, was it in a nuke box?
Yeah, well, the bees were trying to steal a GMC pickup truck, and we just had to put them in a box. So
They was hot wiring it.
All I'm saying.
Lee's caught 2. I caught the same one twice.
When's that video coming out, Yappy?
It'll be a little bit before that one comes out. I had a surprise, and Bob's asked me about it like 73 times already, but I had a surprise live video, I guess you want to call it, whatever, that popped up yesterday. So I just straight up loaded it right from the camera.
Yeah.
So how many millions of views are you going to get on that one?
Hopefully 40 or 50.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy when they just hit like, 12, 13 million.
Yeah.
And then when they decide that, oh, well, YouTube wants to make a little bit more change off of something, and they just go ahead and promote it again, and it doubles like just out of nowhere.
I hate that when that happens.
Yeah. 25 plus million views on that video.
YouTube might be making a little money off of me, but I ain't made none off of them yet. I ain't nowhere near it.
Yeah.
Mr. Ed don't like all the publicity because then he's got to take monks with him to walk beside him when he goes anywhere. He's like, man, get him away from me.
I gotta say, Yappy, I see you wearing the rooster hat, and last week had that's right. I had Gary Adkins from Oklahoma from G's Bees. He came and helped me, and He gets out his car and he's wearing that hat. I said, dude, get in your car and leave. I said, you're going to come here in my house and you're going to be wearing that?
Oh,
Yeah, it hurt. It hurt.
It hurt. It stung your eyes a little.
Yeah. I said, this just ain't right. And Randy does like to do that. He loves playing tricks on people. That, he'll set them up. He'll set you up. So I really did think he set him up. Because I know Joey Riles did that one time at a convention. He comes in there and he's wearing all the dirt rooster garb, man. He had the hat.
The shirt, the hat.
And he's going, hey, Mr. Hat. I said, get out of here, dude. But I got to admit, the rooster does have some good apparel. He does.
Yeah.
And his hats really are that's quality stuff. His hats really are.
That was that video when you were getting all the introductions. You were going around getting everybody to say hello, Mr. Ed.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
I think Joey was. Yeah, Joey was wearing all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's right. He was.
We just need to make.
There you go.
So it's like
Look, you see, that's scary right there. I got in trouble. I didn't wear it again. I'm not making up that story, but I told him to get back in his car. His wife looked at me.
What?
Could like make a
It seems so
NASCAR
nice on
beat.
TV.
What'd you say, Yappy?
I said, he seems so nice on TV, honey.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God.
Dirt Rooster shades are next.
Yeah.
Give him any ideas.
All chromed out.
No. I got that one all to myself.
Yappy's got that sewed up. I like the Hobie Mojos. I got a giant head, so I got to find the right shades to even fit me. So I got Hobie Mojos, and I got some native. I forget what the other ones are. Native something. But they don't look like little tiny spectacles on my head.
Well, you do have a big one.
Yeah, you got. I mean, I almost had to custom make some glasses.
No.
You know, they actually they would be called Rooster Vision.
Rooster Vision.
You know, they make chicken glasses. I'm serious. It's like, you ever seen the little things that stick on there? They're supposed to keep each other from fighting or something like that.
Oh yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
It's like blinders, right?
If I could ever find a pair to stick on Randy's nose about right there and let him walk around and go, yeah, I got my own line of glasses now called Rooster Vision.
Don't they? It's like a little mirror. That's on the end of it. I think it's supposed to be.
oh my!
No, you know what the funniest part about that would be is watching the guy who's got to put them on the chickens, chase the chickens around to grab one just to put them on there.
Yeah.
Okay? That's what's funny.
You gotta catch them. You gotta catch them when they're roosted up.
Yeah.
Or if you get a good PR guy, he can make them stand in line.
That's it.
Well, guys, I'm going. I'm going before I faint on camera.
Hey,
Yeah.
before you go, just wanted to hold you a few more minutes.
Well, you always want to hold me, Yappy.
I want a hug. I just want a hug, man. I just want a hug.
It's going to happen when it's right, brother. It's going to happen.
Anyway.
Well,
All right, guys, good night.
we appreciate the time you gave us
Thanks for
tonight.
inviting me on. I do appreciate it.
Thank you for coming.
Mr. Ed.
God bless, guys. Good
Appreciate
night.
Night, Jeff.
All right, let's go talk about Mr. Ed Bad now.
He just closed the book. I'm not even getting out of here. I'm just closing it. Shut them down.
Yeah, just disconnected.
Now we got to remove
Fancy webcam stuff he's got going on.
Mr. Ed.
Yeah.
I think I
Hey,
found
y'all.
some Randy glasses right here.
Oh my god.
That looks like Yappy's glasses.
Oh wow. I tell y'all, I'm probably gonna hop off too. It's 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
That's right. You and I were ahead of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
still got
Me
paperwork. I still got paperwork to do.
Well, guys,
You can't leave, dude.
appreciate it.
No,
We do
you cannot
appreciate-
leave because that would mean that we were only here for Mr. Ed if you leave.
right?
Brian?
We figured it out. Mine and Lee's channels had like 1/50th of Mr. Ed subs.
And yours is the majority of that.
And that's if every one of them watched, right? So,
yeah.
so all of the people that are watching came from everywhere else but our channels for the most part. So we appreciate you guys for stopping in and blessing us with, some extra viewers tonight.
Definitely.
And, we're all just trying to share a little bit of knowledge, enjoy ourselves, hang out with some beekeepers that we can't be with all the time,
Enjoy the
I
fellowship
watch
of
you
all
guys,
the beekeepers.
I watch you guys, but I can't hang out for your 5-hour lives.
Well, and we understand that, but hey, it's a little bit of a secret tip. When we go for 5 hours, our view time goes out the roof because people are cycling in and out, and they may only watch 10 or 15 minutes.
That is because you'll get that first wave, and then it drops out some, and there's always that second wave, and if you're on, you get that third wave.
How else am I going to make that $30 YouTube is going to send me in 3 months when I hit 100?
It's just people going, holy smokes, they've been on for 5 hours. What are they still talking about?
Yeah.
We got a couple of them that will hang in there the entire time.
Yeah. And we don't really, when we start a chat, there's no agenda. We don't have really topics. It's just hanging out and wherever the people on take the chat is where we go. So
you guys have a good one though. Hey Bob, your deal here, a couple days.
Cool. I appreciate it because I'll have that by the time I gotta go speak to the little chitlins over at the school.
So that means I'm gonna have mine arrive here before
Lee,
Bob and Randy's.
Yeah, you're more special.
Bob, you better order two. You better order two. You better order two because when you get done speaking to little kids, you're gonna be missing parts.
Right. Look what I got for the beeman.
Especially these little things.
Yeah. The bees are gone.
I saw Bruce's bees when he did the when he took his observation hive over to the camp for his wife. I'm probably gonna get some honey sticks and stuff like that, and
I was looking at getting that little machine to make the honey sticks, but they want $700 for that little thing.
Man, that's everything in beekeeping.
Yeah,
everything. Yeah. There's nothing.
Can't you just get some kind of little syringe and just?
Well, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I got a heat sealer.
There's people that
fill it.
I've seen people make them out of a manifold, like a plumbing manifold, where you just stack straws on top of it and pump through the manifold. But I say you'll waste a whole lot of time trying to figure it out. If they got a machine that works for $700 and you can recoup your investment pretty quick, I'd do it.
Yeah,
I'm that way on a lot of stuff. Everybody wants to know how to build their own bee vac. I'm like, man, for $350, something like that, you can get one that'll pay for itself in one job or two jobs. And,
I got one of the same ones you got, the everything bee vac.
Yeah, and
I've enjoyed it. It works good.
Yeah, that thing's paid for itself many times over if I had to pay for it. Thankfully, Tony's good to me. But I would have bought it. I would have bought it anyway. I wouldn't have dared tried to figure out the electronics on that thing.
Yeah, you're the one that kind of talked me into it watching your videos. And when Tony asked where I heard about it, I told him it come from you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
You should be getting sponsorship. See there? You should be like a Bass Pro fisherman. When you come on, your bee jacket should have logos everywhere.
Well, Ricky Rourke got me some shirts. He said he's gonna have ready for me. I just gotta let him know what size. Because I'll be in his booth next year. I'm gonna be in Ricky's booth at Hive Life next year.
Oh, cool. Yeah. But you guys have a good one though. I'm gonna pop out. I'll still be watching for a little bit, but I'm going to get some things done.
We're probably going to be tying it up here in a few minutes anyway, but we appreciate you, Brian. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for letting me share this in your stream team chat on Facebook.
Oh, it's no problem, man.
And, it's no problem. I'm sure we had some people from over there for sure. Yeah. I'm curious how many views we'll end up with by the end of this. So,
Yappy, I'll holler at you, buddy.
Thank you, and appreciate you, pre-video and getting everything lined up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian was texting me over in the private area, let me know what was going on with you.
Yeah.
I just
Randy,
saw him
you
on
take
the
care,
cell
buddy.
phone in the bottom. I'm like, man, if I add
See you
him,
later, Brian.
I don't want him to feel like we're
Have a good
ignoring him
evening.
down there. I see him, but he's on the phone. And then he would go to his little logo. I'm like, is he off the phone or is he on the phone?
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'm all with
Has
Yappy.
everybody figured out how to point yet?
Yeah.
Just I'm in the middle, so I just got to kind of do like that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I just figured out you go opposite.
Yeah.
And,
All right,
and
y'all.
All right,
you know,
Brian. Thank you.
Bob, I'll talk to you, buddy.
all right, thanks, Brian.
Later,
Yeah.
Brian.
I'll see y'all.
So you guys have a ton of subscribers. What do you feel was the number one thing that helped you? Because we got a lot of beekeeping YouTubers in here, helped you grow your channel. Was it just you got luck plays a little bit in it, that you got a video that's real hot and then people are like, oh, I'm gonna subscribe to that? Or is it just the topic of doing the cutouts? Or
Part of it is a lot of it is the cutouts. It's a lot of sensationalism. It's not just your everyday going through a box and doing an inspection or whatever. But for me, it's years and years of just almost weekly uploads, unless I was working out of town or something like that. So you do 8 or 9 years. I don't know. It's been 8 years now, almost 9, of weekly uploads of cutouts, or sometimes hive inspections, or sometimes trips or whatever. You're going to grow an audience. It's not rocket science, but some of it is I've had a few videos that have done real good, and then I don't know, Yappy's done pretty good here recently with some good videos that have really boomed his channel, but he was already growing anyway. He wasn't growing as fast as he wanted. He was getting a little discouraged, but man, when that thing hit, it hit. But yeah, just consistent, or as consistent as you can be. Don't make excuses. Just make an upload. If you say, oh, I don't have any material, make something up. I tell you what, I can go out there in my yard and make up 20 videos just right off the top of my head. I don't have time to edit everything, but I can shoot them and have them there in my hard drive. I've got literal years of videos that I haven't edited since 20. I think my oldest in my archives is like 2014. I could do a video every week just off of what I didn't show from last year.
wow,
That was my biggest thing trying to get started in YouTube. It's like, where do I even start? Even talking to the camera by myself, I had all the best intentions, the best ideas, but as soon as I hit record, I freeze. And I'm by myself. It ain't like I'm in front of anybody.
I think everybody does that.
Learned, you just got to keep recording, even if you don't upload that one. You got time and practice talking to the camera.
Everybody does that. I still do that sometimes. There was times in the past where I would sit there and do take after take after take of just my intro until my camera battery was dead, and I'd have to go recharge my battery and come back and look at all the ones, and the first one was the best one. I'm like, I just did 53 takes of this stupid intro.
Sometimes I cheat and do the intro after I've done all the other, like I'll go to the yard and I'll find something and do a video, and then I'll do an intro and after the fact saying, okay, today we're going to go and this is what we want to do,
Yeah.
I think that's why I bought 8 batteries. I think that's why I bought 8 batteries for my GoPro, because I knew I was going to
There's really nothing wrong with doing that, Bob, because it's a production.
Yeah.
I've said this in a couple other of the live streams. This is a business, and when you get into it, I mean, if it ain't a business, then you're doing it because you enjoy it, and you get a lot of money to waste. But at the end of the day, by the time you start out with the basic camera and a basic editing software on a slow computer, you start putting the content out, and as things grow and progress, you look at it as a business.
Right.
So as a production, that's what you're running, is a production business to get something out there. Sorry, the joy of mute buttons. You go back and you look at videos that I put out 5 years ago. I literally just told this to Brian not an hour ago. You look at something that I put out 5 years ago. My first video was on a cheap and easy swarm trap. I shot it on the back patio at the fire station The light was horrible on a 720p camera, and it was the greatest video. I just knew. I mean, this is going to be it. This is putting me on the map. And I put it out there, and I mean, it actually with the help of JP, and somebody asked about JP. JP's doing great. He's been doing fine. He had a little tweak here and there as far as some health issues, but overall, bottom line is with JP, he's doing awesome. He's covered up head to toe with bees. He just took a break from production. I mean, he's put stuff out. God, 12 years that he's been putting stuff out, maybe, and trying to get the content out there and still run a business and be a family man, everything else. You get to a point where sometimes, putting them things out once a week, that's the other side of the coin. You're going to get to a point where you put these things out once a week. You're trying to grow your channel and trying to do good. And speak of the devil, that was him actually buzzing me in. But I got a treat for you guys. Hold on 1 second.
I tell you, part of the thing with my channel,
get you on mute.
On my channel, I try to make a story. I try to make everything into a story. It needs to have a beginning and an ending. It needs to have kind of a flow to it, and I do that as best I can. Sometimes they don't make a whole lot of sense, but that's part of my mindset when I go into an edit. Oh, you getting JP on the phone?
Let's go put him on speaker.
And so with that, sometimes I don't shoot a complete story when I'm shooting. So and this is a secret that only probably JP, Yappy and Mr. Ed know, but y'all are going to hear my secret. Some of my B-roll and some of my videos, if I need a shot and I don't have it, I'll go through my archives, and it might be 3 or 4 year old footage that's in part of the video that's current, just to make the story flow.
Hey, Randy.
Yeah.
Y'all hold on a second. Are you there, buddy? JP.
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Can you guys hear him?
Yeah.
Say.
What's up?
What's up?
What's up,
What's up, PP?
There you go, boys. So we're on a live stream with Kodiak Bee Farms and Walker Bee Ranch, Randy, me, and all 12 people. How many people you get on here?
I got 30 on my channel, right? 37 right now live.
Yeah. Okay. So, Jeff, we literally were just asked how you were doing. I'm like, hang on a minute. I got the ability. I can actually bring him in on this. And
yeah, I mean, Bruce said Storm's dead.
As soon as I said it, you called. So there you go.
Y'all must be what, y'all addicted to something, man?
Can you hear us?
Y'all still talking about bees?
They're 4 hours into this stuff.
Dude. He can't hear us, can he? Yappy, he can't hear us, can he?
No,
he's got it on the headset, right?
Yeah. Now, can you hear them talking, JP?
I think I heard dirt just a little bit in the background.
Okay.
I mean, I can hear you fine, yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Randy. See if you can say something.
Yeah, man. What's up?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I heard him say "What's up," but I mean, he sounds like
you get that 22. You get that $22,000 job.
Yeah, bid it at 21.5, man. but he said if I show up, I got to bring that big dirt rooster guy with me. He's gonna have cookies and milk ready for you.
Oh, I'll be there.
I remember watching one of JP's videos when he puts the drone in his mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, in front of the little kids and everything.
Yeah. That's
people love that when you do that. And
I don't know if JP can, JP can hear me, but where exactly does he live as far as city wise?
New Orleans.
New Orleans, okay.
What's that?
Lee was asking where you live.
About 10 miles west of New Orleans.
Okay.
A town called Metairie.
I know where that's at. I'm about 35, 40 minutes from there. I'm just north of Gonzales and Sorrento and Denham Springs.
You right there by my buddy Shawee.
Yeah.
He lives in Paulina.
Yep.
Man, if I'd have known,
Sorrento.
If I'd have known I was going to have all these superstars, I would have run ads on Facebook. This was happening. Man, all these superstars. I'm kind of in awe right now. Like,
this is one to put in the books, huh?
Well, we snuck it up on JP. He's going to be needing a check.
Boy, we don't have the real superstar though. Horchoff, huh, Dirk?
Oh, he was on here already.
You're about 23 minutes late. He couldn't hang. He had to go pee.
Ah,
Yeah, he was in there, man.
oh boy.
But yeah, Edward,
I talked to him a couple of days ago, and then he asked for Shawwee's number for the third time. And I talked to Shawwee, and he said, "Yeah, man." He goes, "Yeah." Jeff called me, and he says, "Got this job. I don't want it." He says, "But if you want it," he said, "it's like 25 feet up, but you can't get a ladder, and you can like kind of stand on the edge of like this porch. But if you fall, you're gonna land on the stairs." And Shawwee, of course, said, "Yeah, I'll take it."
Is that one up at tower you were telling me about?
I don't know where it is, but I was going to call Horchoff and thank him that he didn't refer it to me.
So, Mark, I don't know if can you see the comments, Randy?
No, I can't read them.
Okay, so Mark Miller said, "Hi guys, I just wanted to tell Randy that I started keeping bees about the time he started videos, and I appreciate the hard work he has put in over the years. I've learned a lot. Thanks, Randy."
Oh man, I appreciate it, man.
So,
Appreciate that a whole lot.
Fanboying out tonight.
Do what?
Fanboying out. It's funny because you probably experienced it a lot, especially when you went to like Hive Life and different places that a lot of people, you'll be walking, they just recognize you, right?
Yeah.
And the first time that happens to you, it's kind of a weird feeling I got when it happened to me before. But how did you feel the first time someone said, "Here's the dirt rooster. I saw you on YouTube"?
It wasn't. I wasn't taken aback by it to begin with, because growing up here in Gulfport. Gulfport was a small town when I was growing up. My dad was a business owner. My whole family was all business owners, so we knew a lot of people anyway. So we couldn't go anywhere that I didn't know 2 or 3 people. And as Gulfport's grown, it's changed where I don't, maybe I'm out, I might see somebody I know, but if somebody hollers at me, I don't know if I know them from business or from YouTube or whatever, unless they holler, "Hey, bee guy," or something like that.
Right.
And I would get that. And this guy, probably the first guy I ever did it in front of my son at Sam's, and it was a guy named David Campbell. And he said, "Oh man, the bee guy, I've been watching you on YouTube." And I just looked at my son. I was like, "Yeah, that's right." And so I said, "Hey, come with me." So we went out to the truck, and I got him a jar of honey. And then 6 months or so later, he saw me at a gas station, hollered, "Hey, the bee guy." And I turned around and said, "What's up, David?" And he's like, "I can't believe you remember my name." And I was like, "Yeah." He didn't know I had a trick. I had an uncle named David Campbell, so it was easy. But you get used to. I probably around here locally, I get recognized every couple of weeks maybe, and it's just.
But when you leave your area, that like your town, and you see somebody in another area, like when you were in Tennessee, and they're
same,
like,
"Yeah,
same deal."
Well, I actually more people up there know me than down here. It's funny because I was working a storm in South Carolina one time, and I'm sitting out on a bench at the beach at like 9 o'clock at night, talking to my wife on the phone, and there's a group of people walking down this boardwalk, and people get about 15 feet from me, and I see this guy look me in the eyes, and look of recognition comes over his face. He goes, "The dirt rooster," and my wife just goes, "I'll let you go," because I never met a stranger. I'll visit with anybody. I'm cool with it, so it's never really been weird to me. I guess just growing up the way we did, we knew everybody in town. It was nothing. So I enjoy.
That's what I've noticed about beekeepers. I mean, they're not shy to talk to anybody.
No, and I enjoy meeting everybody. If they've been watching the videos, some of them know my videos better than I do. I'm like, hey, that's cool. I don't remember that, but okay.
I got like 2 or 3 that I really remember that I've done. And like I think it was you that were saying, the one that you think is the best one is like, or maybe it was Yappy. It's like,
yeah,
most people are like,
it's gonna be you. Yeah, it's gonna flop.
So, I'm thinking about, I did one called The Game of Drones, Attack of the Hive Beetles. And I had like a 5-gallon pail where the hive beetles had slimed out some colonies, and you could see all the larvae in the bucket, just undulating and everything. And it doesn't get that many views. I mean, but I thought it was the most interesting thing for me. Now I know how to kill them.
I remember specific ones that I really thought would go that just were total flops. And one of them was a queen was getting bald in front of a little nuke hive that a guy built me to look like a little church. I mean, it was a little small nuke hive. It had a cross and a steeple and all that kind of stuff, and a little front door, a little front porch. And the queen was, I found her on the ground getting bald right in front of the church. And I can't remember what I titled it, but I was like, man, this is going to be viral right here. It didn't do nothing. I mean, it died out of the gate.
But and see, now you could re-upload that video, or you could, I don't know if you got to download it and re-upload it.
Kind of rebrand it.
Well, and now I bet you it would go crazy.
But then there's others that just are horrible that I'm embarrassed I ever uploaded them, and they're in the 300,000 to 400,000 500,000 views, and you just got to leave them. You just got to eat it.
Well, when you got stuff like Yappy, and it was either Yappy's or your video where y'all shook them down in the bed of a pickup truck.
Yeah,
that was Randy's.
Yeah. And there was like it was crazy, insane amount of bees that you were just like.
Right, yeah, it was probably 80, 100 pounds of bees. It was a big old ball of bees.
I need a swarm like that in my life. Right about now.
I need one of those like Yappy did. You shake it on the roof of your truck and get 20 million or whatever it's at views.
He just had his phone on that one, right? It was just a phone video.
Yeah, and it was just an average. It was a little larger than average, probably size swarm, but man, and it's just the personality. It's a lot of it has to do with personality, and it's funny because I'm kind of a even keel, flat personality. Yappy's got the personality.
Hey, what was the crocodile hunter guy?
Steve Irwin.
The Yappy's the Steve Irwin of beekeeping.
Swarm. Them bees were hanging up in a tree, and they all fell down on top of my truck and went into my box, and I caught the queen. Blimey.
Yeah, as long as he never tries to hug a shark or a stingray or something, he'll be all right.
Hey, yeah. How many pounds of bees do you reckon that swarm was yesterday? I say yesterday because that's when the video was uploaded. I don't know when it.
I ended up moving that box, putting it on a stand about an hour later, and
I bet you that was a 10-pound swarm.
Well, I'm being conservative, but it was that entire 3-stack box had bees on every frame, thick. I mean, it was. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, if you guys haven't watched that video, you need to go check it out. I was sitting there, I was like, they were running into the colony. They weren't just marching in, they were running up into the hive. It was
and when I saw that at first, I'm like, man, that dang queen. I caught a swarm. It was.
Oh, Mr. Ed said you copied him, by the way. He said because he did the same thing on his last swarm where he caught the queen and let her fly. He did. He said that you copied him on that.
Actually, I had every intent. When I caught her, I wanted to show everybody, but I was just like going to set her down and then video her walking in the thing, to figure that'd be pretty cool for everybody. And I'm real gentle when I hold them, because I don't catch them by the wings. I'll pick her up and I'll hold her just right in between my fingers, but I can hold her just enough to where when I get her there that, she ain't going anywhere, but I'm not squeezing her. I'm not going to injure her.
Right.
And I just couldn't get her in the groove just where I needed her to be. And I was like, oh, and there she went. I'm going, oh my God. I'm thinking, I'm like, the odds of me catching her a second time, anywhere is just going to be horrible. And I mean, it's like, okay, so now the bees are just pretty much poured in. All the bees that are down here all around me for 10 feet in any direction, you know, it's like all of a sudden they're pretty much, the circles like real small. And I just happen to look on the side of the box, man, and there's still just a bunch of bees hanging out over there. And I'm like, let's just take a look around that corner. And man, there she was sitting on the side of the box. I'm like, you know what? I know she ain't going anywhere. I mean, you could, I've had that happen a gazillion times where, you know, a bee will fly off or the queen will fly in that area, whatever. She always comes back. You just give her a minute.
Well,
and
that happened to me yesterday too, but not with a swarm. I had introduced mated queens to all these colonies, and they'd been in there for a few days, and it was a nuke, so it wasn't, they were taking their sweet time eating the candy, the fondant out of there. So
yeah,
I had done 9 other colonies, and I get to this last nuke, and I popped the little JZBZ, the little round hole next to the candy, and pop that open, and next thing I see her take off, and I'm like, wait a minute, you're supposed to be mated and not able to fly right now. And she just took off, and then I went back in a little bit later, and she flew back into the front, I guess, and I didn't see her, but she came back in.
Yeah.
I've had one of mine fly out like that doing an inspection through the hive, and when I picked the frame up, she flew off. And I was trying to get everything closed up, and I thought she had got back in. I seen her fly out and then land back on the thing, and I put the lid back on, and then it sounded like a 747 went by my ear. And I got to looking, and she was on the tree right next to the hive. I just cracked the top of the hive, left it open for a few minutes, and she just jumped back in.
Exactly. I was going to say, you just, everything else closed up and in your yard and things you're doing, just leave the top open for a little bit, and give her a chance to, because that smell is, they go into, default mode. It's like, okay, nothing out here looks familiar. Ain't nobody hanging out with me. So what do? They go to what they know. They go to a smell, and leave the top open, and usually that'll help get them to go right back to where they're supposed to go.
That's what I was telling Bob yesterday. He called me when that happened, and I said the best thing I could tell you is just leave the lid cracked a little bit. It was migratory style lid. I said just leave it cracked, and hopefully she'll go back in.
Yeah.
She made it back in, so that was a good thing. I've done everything stupid, man. I've decapitated a queen with a one-handed queen catcher. That's not fun. I was so proud of myself. I was like, this is the first queen I've ever marked. She's so beautiful. And I start to slide that little yellow slider deal to let her out, the queen excluder. And she decided she wanted to go back towards where I was sliding it instead of out where I was opening it up. And off with her head. So I had a beautifully decapitated marked queen.
Travis Atkins at BeeWise LLC in Oklahoma has the funniest bee killing story, hands down. It's one of his customers. I'll let him tell it if y'all ever get on here, but laughing your head off, funny bee killing story. But Jennifer King and I did a cutout this past year, and we were completely done with the cutout. It was behind a chimney, and I never saw the queen through the whole cutout, and I was like, I don't know, maybe we got her in the back. I don't know. So we're putting tools up, and we're standing around front on the driveway. The driveway is about 30 or 40 foot around the house from the chimney, and she's standing there with the homeowner, and the homeowner looks down and says, "What's that on the ground?" And it was the queen with about 7 attendants around them. And I said, "That's the queen." And by the time I said queen, she raked her foot across all of them and just ground them into the concrete. And I said, she just thought it was a bunch of beasts, so she was just killing them. So she just ground them into concrete. And I said, Jennifer said, "Was it really the queen?" I said, "Yes, it was." She said, "Oh, I can't believe I just did that." So I got down there and picked up enough pieces to show Jennifer, yep, this was the queen.
Ooh, picking up pieces ain't good.
Yeah.
Yep, you got.
Now I got to tell a story. I mean, and it's not even horrible, but I feel horrible. Okay, I'm like, I don't know what it is. Ever since I started doing the stuff with JP, I mean, I guess it's every beekeeper. We all get crazy anal about trying to find the queen, right? Man, it was like it became this competition between me and him, who could find the queen first. Just I had to find her. So that just kind of got my sharpness going up. Well, that's just the only thing that's important to me doing a bee removal. So it was about, I don't know, middle of the season last year, and I'm down in a basement getting bees in between the floors, between the upper floor and the basement thing, and I've got the hole cut up in the wall, and it wasn't a very mature colony, and got in there, and there's my queen. Reach up in there, got her. I'm like, yeah, I got my queen. Put her in a little catch cage. I like to keep the queen nearby most of the time because it keeps the bees calm. And instead of them running and going somewhere else, depending on the situation, I can kind of keep them calm. And I get all this stuff done, and I'm taking my last bit of comb out, backing the bees off of there. Got everything just about done. I reach up there to go grab that dang queen and just bumped her as she falls down in the wall between the foundation.
In the queen catcher?
Huh?
In the queen catcher?
In the queen catcher. And I'm like, oh God. Oh, I felt horrible. This is probably, it's like, well, I caught her, but oh, bless her heart. Yeah, it's like she's going to die a horrible death of starvation. Oh, I couldn't sleep for 3 days. I called Randy. I cried on his shoulder, and he just turned around and called me a noob. You're such a noob.
Such a noob. The swarm that I caught Sunday, I was on a little 6-foot ladder, and I had the nuke box sitting on top. Got the bees in it, had the queen and a little clip on top of that. When I moved, I hit that clip and knocked it off, and it fell to the ground. And I got it on video, but she was fine. And I actually released her yesterday afternoon. And
I wonder if it's like that thing where if you in a falling elevator and you jump right before it gets to the bottom. You get.
Well, luckily it was on the grass, so I mean it kind of cushioned it a little bit. It wasn't concrete.
Maybe she flew right before it hit.
We can hope anyway. I'll find out in a couple of days, see if she's laying eggs or not.
Yeah.
If she's still able to.
Yeah.
So guys, I know you guys got long days. It's been 2.5 hours we've been live here.
Yeah.
And we definitely appreciate you. Thank you for stopping in, Yappy. And
thank you.
With your getting your technical issues ironed out, that's good. And didn't mean to throw shade on your Mac, because I'm a PC guy.
Oh, trust me, I've been doing Windows all my life. As far as that goes, this is a whole new language.
Well, the good thing that Apple's figured out is that it syncs your files from your iPhone, if you have an iPhone, to your computer and everything. All your files, your email are synced.
And then, I actually, believe it or not, I bought it because of the camera. I've got an iPhone 8 something or another, and I don't care nothing about using that as a phone. Now, as far as Android, I'm happy-go-lucky with my Android. As far as that goes. And see, I'm still going to end up. This is what I honestly think. In fact, I invite you to call me back on one of these things in about 3 months. Okay. Just to talk about my computer issues if I ever got it fixed. I think that they're doing a background change up on a bunch of stuff to get things ready for Windows 11. And it's just thrown kinks in everything that I've got. But it cost me a chunk of money to have to get it done. But this laptop right here, it's going to do everything that I need to do. It was worth it just for my audio system setup, so I can do podcasting and different things like that. Right. I wanted GarageBand for my editing, and I got a Zoom pod track that is all my audio is coming into it. Everything now actually works together, so I can do this stuff the way I want to. And I won't do a whole lot of anything else on it. But
that's
anyway,
one thing. When people watch YouTube, they don't understand necessarily the amount of money that gets invested in technology just to try to get better, right? So
true.
I got the GoPro Max. I've got a GoPro. Well, it's slightly better than Mike Berry's. It's the 5 and not the 3.
Nice.
And cameras and microphones and headsets and everything that goes into it. And sometimes the bees don't want to cooperate and have anything really, really interested to show. So You know, how many times can you say, okay, guys, this is a Langstroth deep frame? And, you know, that was
No,
one of
it's
the
dude, it's all in the presentation. I'd like to tell you about my Langstroth deep frame heavy coated wax.
Yeah. Yappy, what you need next is some of these loom cubes. $300 worth of lights.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if y'all familiar with Loom Cube.
I've seen them.
I just bought these things. They're waterproof and they run forever. So I'm using them in my cutouts. Now it's a photography light.
Now look at this. Hey Lee, show them how you adjust your lights in your room and everything now.
Oh, he's something fancy, I'm sure.
You want the regular lights turned on in here?
He controls it from his phone, everything.
Or you want my little blue lights in the back to turn off? Or you want them back on? You gotta have toys to play with.
Yeah, I got a 14-inch ring light over there in the corner.
Oh, I thought that was your loom cube. I was going to go, your complexion looks mighty nice tonight, Mr.
Yeah, and there's a loom cube on the floor behind me.
I think I got a $20 Walmart, you know, one of those lamps that's got the flexible deals on it.
Yeah.
And they're not even pointed at me. It's just turned on.
I got two sets of LEDs kind of coming in at me, but I also have two 32-inch monitors here that kind of help light my face up a little bit too, plus the laptop.
Yeah, it's amazing the money you spend on this stuff, because I probably, Yappy too, probably no kidding, $8,000-$10,000 worth of gear just to do a YouTube channel that you could do it with your phone, but
making $30 a month.
Yeah, at least.
Well, why do you think I got to be a crane operator? I got to have a job that can pay for this mess.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a question I often ask people when they come on. What's the biggest piece of beekeeping junk you purchased ever? Like you were like, oh, this is going to really help with this, and it was just like a piece of dung.
A bee suit.
Really? That's the biggest waste of money. You're just like,
Well, I personally, I don't hardly ever wear one. So I spent a chunk of money on a brand that I don't even think it was probably some Chinese import, something that whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I bought one that about the third use, the zipper broke on it and, you know, can't find anywhere to get it. If you're gonna buy a bee suit, buy one of the name brand quality stuff.
Guardian, I just got a Guardian.
I got two of the Guardians here.
Get a good one. But as far as overall equipment, I don't do that with a whole lot of stuff. Now I tell you what though, I'm sharing every. We don't say the name of that one in public. We don't speak the name.
Is that should not be spoke of?
Yeah, it's like a Harry Potter thing. The name should not be said. He who is not spoken of. But there's a what was it? The Ross Rounds frames. You ever seen them things?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a couple different versions of, and
hog half comb.
Scott Derrick at Blythewood has got a rounds version that he sent me to kind of throw in a box with a good swarm, see if we can't get that thing to working out where it'll make those little round combs.
He's probably got the Cerasil version.
Yep.
This was a 2-piece. You open it up and you literally put a sheet of wax in it.
Yeah,
Cerasil back up.
Cerasil sent me a setup last year to use, and I'm gonna do a video on it this year. I was supposed to do it last year and I didn't get around to it, but I do owe them a video.
That's Scott Derrick in Blythewood is my local bee shop.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can't think of anything that was total junk that I would say don't ever buy, but a lot of times people send, and it's not that stuff that I've purchased, it's stuff people have sent me. They'll send me a lot of onesies and twosies of things that I'm running 50 to 100 colonies half the time, and I just have no use for two things that don't even match up with my equipment or
Well, I've got a couple things. Mine was the Guardian hive entrance for beetles, right? I said, well, let me try this because the beetle problem. It didn't really work. And the other thing is by Cerasil, those Cerasil top hive feeders.
Yeah.
For me, they're garbage. I mean, especially if you're using migratory covers. it's specifically on a 5-frame nuke. You know, they got the 5-frame nuke that's got the two little plastic pieces that go in it for the feeder. Yeah. It doesn't sit down in the trim ring. It sits on top of the ring, right? So when you put a migratory cover on it, bees can go under them. It just doesn't sit flush. So it's not a very good design. If they would recess it a little bit, it would be a little bit better.
I think now that I think of it, the only thing that I've ever gotten that I probably wouldn't buy, it's not because it was a bad product. It was just a little pricey, was the Beetle Buster bottom board.
Oh yeah, those things are a couple $100.
They're $100 a piece, but I had one of them, and they're made in Australia. And I don't know if the dimensions on boxes in Australia are any different than ours, but it doesn't match up to our boxes. But it's nice. It's heavy duty. It's heavy built. It lasts. It doesn't fall apart. It doesn't rot, and it does the job. It works, but it's a one-trick pony. And so the Apame bottoms, you can do multiple things. Where with the Beetle Buster bottom, you got to constantly be changing out the diatomaceous earth, and we're in a humid environment, so it just clumps and it doesn't do what it should. But that's probably the one thing that I wouldn't invest in. A lot, in fact, due to the cost, and a lot of it due to I don't have time to be swapping out DE every couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, if you got 1 or 2 colonies in your backyard, maybe it's not that bad. But when you start getting, I only have 23, 24 right now, so it's not like I'm killing it as far as number of colonies. But again, anything in beekeeping is about $20 and $20 bottom board. So that's $400 every time you make a change to your setup on 20. So when you start doing hundreds of colonies, then they do not match regular boxes, right?
Yeah, but the Apame bottoms do that and more. They're a pollen trap and a vented bottom and a solid bottom, and you can use DE in them and all that stuff. So, and they're cheaper, and they probably I don't know that they last any longer, but they last just as long, I'm sure.
Yeah,
what I was doing before the peppermints, I was taking the little reusable beetle bar or beetle
beetle gel. Beetle gel.
I was taking diatomaceous earth and Crisco, mixing it together, and just putting a couple of drops of that in there, and that was seeming to kill them. It would attract them to that grease, to the Crisco, and then once they consume the diatomaceous earth, it just basically cuts them up, dehydrates them.
That beetle gel there is a trap that I like. I bought 100 of them last time I saw them they were at the Mississippi Conference, and I bought a box of 100 there.
Yeah, I bought the little cheap ones that you just push in between the frames on Amazon, and they don't even seem to fit right. The little ones with the black lid on it.
Yeah, they don't. The beetles hide up under the edge of them.
Yep. Yeah, to me, it opens the frame up just a hair. It don't fit right like these do. You put these in, and you can close them all the way up to each other.
They do work. They will catch beetles, but if you don't set them in there right, you do have to spread your frames a little bit. If you don't set them in there right, the beetles hide up under them.
I think it was your video where I saw where you just take, before you even pull them out, you take the hive tool and run it down them and just crush everything underneath the edges.
Yeah, we do that.
I'll see Mike Berry do that too. You just run it all the way across it and then pick it up.
Before you take it out, because otherwise they're going to run everywhere.
That's right.
It's like the technique for removal. You should write a manual. Step 1, open hive. Step 2, run hive tool across beetle trap.
Yeah, the first time I ever saw good success with those beetle gels was when whose house was that we were at? Yappy up in the Marshall Space Flight Center. We went and looked at those hives at Travis or what was his name? I don't know, but he had a bunch of beetle gels in there, and they were just full. And I was like, dude, I got to get some of those. And that's when I started buying beetle gels.
I've used those, and then just a little flat beetle barns.
I've used those.
I find they like to propylize the little holes up pretty good, though.
Yeah, I've used the Coroplast sign method. I saw Fat Beeman do a video on that way back, and I tried that, and that worked a little bit. And those CD case traps, I've tried those. oil tray bottoms, you name it. If you can use it for beetles, I've tried it.
I've tried, what was it, the little Guardian? It's kind of the infrared technology, they called it. It was the upper entrances, but I found my bees never used them. I mean, you'd have a couple of guard bees in it, but no traffic in or out of them. They only wanted to use the regular
I've got
bottom
some
port
of those
entrance.
too. Matter of fact, I might do a giveaway on my channel and just start. You
Yeah.
guys want to try these? Here you go.
I got a box of them I hadn't even opened because the few hives that I did try the other ones out on, they didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
I think if I'm paying $10 a colony for a hive entrance that's specifically marketed to keep beetles out, then when I open the colony, I feel like there shouldn't be any beetles in it. Maybe that's just me, you know.
I even had some of those baffles that go around the top edge of the bottom board with the never wet on them.
Right.
I can't remember what the guy called them, but
I think they're called beetle baffles, aren't they?
Might be.
Yeah,
they didn't baffle anything.
The box and the board.
Yeah, they didn't baffle anything. I guess the beetles would fly past it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the holes were so big that they just walk in and fly up through it.
So I think what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to come up with a prototype. You remember the old Tyco racetracks that you pulled the little thing and the car zipped around?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to somehow embed wire, a positive on one side and a negative on the other side, maybe under a screen bottom. So
when make a bug zapper.
Yeah. So when the beetles crawl up from the bottom side, that they bridge the gap between the negative and positive and just get popped with like a 9-volt battery or something.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it wouldn't take much to zap them. Just as hey, that might be my viral video. That might be the one.
You're probably just gonna have next time you open your lid, you're just going to have a bunch of limping beetles in there, burnt their little feet up.
We're going around in circle because it like blasted one leg off.
Well, you can always take Eamon Reynolds' approach to getting rid of the mites. Get you some tannerite.
Tannerite and just blow
them up. Guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true fact. Did you know that hive beetles won't fly when you smoke them?
They won't.
Yep, you told me this earlier today. I gotta test that out.
If hive beetles are walking around, when you smoke them, they ball up, and I've done this before where you can have a container like storage tote with some oil in it and a screen big enough not to let the bees fall through it, but you can take and actually smoke the hive beetles on a frame, and they won't fly. They'll actually, I mean, it's like not a 100%, but I'm telling you, hive beetles, when you smoke them, won't fly. They close up, and you can get them to go down. You know, they'll drop down.
They don't feel too good, or they don't fly too much when they're under my hive tool.
I was about to say, you give them a hive tool test.
Listen, I had one that was so bad one time. The bees were doing great, but I popped 2 boxes off, and when I pulled that bottom off, and there were like 1,000 of them in the back corner of this. Well, I was pulling frames out of it, but I knew I had the issue. I smoked smoked, and the bees started flying up. All the beetles were kind of staying down there. As soon as I got enough of them bees out of the way, blow torched them. I fried every single one of them.
I'm gonna tell you hands down my favorite way to get rid of beetles, and it's because you see instant results, and you can see what you did, and it's kind of fun to do it. And so if you've only got a few hives that you're working on, it's all right to do once in a while. But you got to have an oil tray bottom board, and it's the powdered sugar dust method. So you just sprinkle powdered sugar all over the tops of your frames, and take your bee brush and just quickly brush it back and forth, and the bees get covered with powdered sugar, and they start cleaning themselves and everything in the hive, and all that. A lot of the powdered sugar and all the beetles go to the bottom, and they go through the screen and into the bottom board, and you can pull it out in 5 minutes and count 70, 80, 200 beetles, whatever it is, but it's almost an instant result, and it's just fun to do.
Well, I mean, that's one thing when I started watching YouTube, as far as beekeeping is concerned, that I noticed I was trying to emulate what people were doing. And of course I was pretty ignorant. I feel pretty ignorant, but but you just don't know. So you'll see somebody doing something, you're like, oh, that's a good idea. But I'm being down here, I should have done that 3 weeks, a month ago, what they're doing, right? So there wasn't very many Southern beekeepers that I could find on YouTube until I ran across you guys, and you guys are in Louisiana, but you guys were doing mostly cutouts, not so much the actual beekeeping. Hey, this is how we reverse the box and checkerboard and all that kind of basics, newbie stuff. But
I'm in Mississippi.
Yeah, I was about to say Randy's Mississippi and Yappy's, believe what, Alabama, Northern Alabama.
North Alabama.
Yeah.
And I'm in South Carolina, so
okay.
I'm South Louisiana.
But but hive beetles, you wouldn't see a lot about hive beetles in there. So when they hit me and wiped out 9 of my colonies, I was like devastated. I felt like I wasted my whole first year just about in beekeeping. So that's why I talk more about hive beetles than I do varroa mites.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I actually this has been 6-7 years ago. I was actually at Scott Derrick's house. I had went over there
in Blythewood
for a weekend trip, and we were messing with a couple of his beehives, and I had never in my life seen the amount of hive beetles in one colony that I saw in what he's got. But now he's got close wooded area right there in his backyard, and leaves that stay down on the ground. I mean, the perfect breeding ground for him.
Right.
But man, I tell you, that was probably the you guys got horrible hive beetle issues over there. So I can respect why it's such an issue for you.
And the Scott's going through some health issues. He's a disabled vet, so he's actually in. I don't know, when's the last time you talked to him? It's been a while.
Yeah,
2 months ago.
He's been dealing with health issues for many years.
Yeah. He's going through. He's on dialysis because he's got kidney failure. He's on a transplant list with the VA. So I've talked to his wife last week when I was up there, and they were talking about bringing me in to work part-time over there a few days a week to, help them out. They just had their nuke pickup and stuff, but I very rarely see Scott over there anymore. It's usually Abby, one of the girls in that runs there.
Because he's off doing something else, or he's just not in any condition to be there.
Well, I think he does dialysis at his house, so he's kind of limited to get out. I don't know all the specifics, but I didn't. He's got a general store now too, and the general store are like a mile from where the beekeeping shop is, and I don't see him at either place because I usually go in. Last time I was down there, they had a 55-gallon drum of Swarm Commander. And they were.
Yappy's got 5 gallons. Yappy's got 5 gallons of it.
No, I got 5 gallons of Honeybee Gone.
Oh, was that what it is? I was thinking
product too, right? Honeybee Gone, Swarm Commander, and that Keeper's Friend additive for feed.
Yeah, it's like a
Keeper's Choice. I think it's called Beekeeper's Choice. But yeah, that's all same product. Or they developed that. So
yeah.
I was just thinking, how would you like to be the guy that forgot and left the Swarm Commander 55-gallon drum open in the warehouse and over the weekend?
Nah.
And you come in on Monday to the warehouse and there's bees everywhere.
Oh, dude, this ain't no kidding. I had a bottle of it. I learned this the hard way and forgot that he said, you don't leave a bottle of Swarm Commander in your vehicle once the temperatures get above 40 degrees. Yeah, you don't leave that stuff in the door pocket in your car with the windows closed.
It gets back in, coming out.
Yeah, because it has a vaporizer in it, and it's basically a vaporizer's alcohol.
Right.
And you heat it up, and what's it do? It expands and it oozes, whatever. Well, I was at a swarm catch and, got out, and I didn't think nothing about it, left my door open. And I get up on top of my old truck. I'm standing on a ladder rack, got storage tote, and I go to shake this thing. And, got bees falling everywhere. Well, I go down, got the tarp laid out, looking for the queen. Things are going great. Bees are marching in. happened to get up and walk around to go get something out of the truck, and literally in the pocket of the door where the bottle used to be, there was enough bees to have been a second swarm hanging out in the pocket of the door of my truck. And it was, it was the same swarm, but they just got confused because they went to the smell. What's the smell tell you? It says gather here. And I kid you not. Oh man, I got a picture of my daughter sitting next to it. That's
You
pretty
wouldn't be
much what
talking
it looked
about a
like.
setup like that, would you?
Pretty darn close, but no, I ain't climbing that.
I'm gonna tell you
That,
what
that would be last weekend.
So this week I had a swarm that moved out of a nuke. I had a double nuke, double deep nuke set up, and it only had one frame of old comb sitting on, and it was on my hive stand. And they decided they wanted that one. They all moved in, and then like 2 hours later, they all moved out again, and they were just flying in the air. So I took the swarm commander on a 5-gallon pail. I took one shot of it while they were all flying and squirted on it, set it on a stack of they're new boxes, but they're sitting there, set it out there. They broke flight and came right down and landed on the bucket. And then I just took them into another nuke box and sealed them up. And I mean, I've seen that happen twice personally, where they were flying off, squirt on a branch, low branch. They landed on the low branch, shake them in the box. So they will break flight to land on it. It's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, he's got a video out where I set a box on my tractor on an old channel of mine where I had some videos on there. But I had, when he first came out with it, and I had the beginning first initial product, I put a 10 frame deep sitting up on top of my tractor and literally just a little squirt of swarm commander on it. And it was and I did it because it was so windy out. I mean, the wind was blowing so hard that it, if they can't smell their pheromone and it says here, gather right here, it's going to keep them airborne for a while. So I ended up, I put that stuff on that tractor just past where they were basically all trying to land, to where that, it would draw them to come back to it. And 30 minutes later, I come out there and every bit of them was in my box.
Did you see the new thing that he did with the swarm commander with the little breakable vials?
Yeah. I mean, he's marketed it in a couple different ways. The little jelly, mirror hanger freshener thing that you could put in there. Right. He's had a couple different versions of what you could do with it, and give him credit. He's always trying to improve, something about it. I'm happy for him. But yeah, I gotta get back in touch with him pretty soon anyway. What is that?
There's a little lure I'm working on.
Oh, there you go. Can't turn around. Gonna have to break into the swarm lure to step it on somebody else's problem. Okay, that's it. I'm done.
Well, we're trying to break into YouTube, Need you guys to give us a shout out and send people over.
Hey. Trust me, people come to my channel for the wow factor. Right. They come there and they come there for to see some bees and whatever and go. Randy and I are supposed to be some kind of influencers. I'm telling you, I ain't got no influence on nobody. If I'm not getting stung and crying like a little girl, they don't care to watch my stuff. I can't tell them nothing.
All right, guys. Well, we're going on 3 hours now. It's 11 p.m. here. I think y'all are all on 10 p.m., right? Or are you on Eastern time too, Yappy?
Central. It's 10 o'clock here.
10.
All right. Well, I'm the only old man in the group then.
Yeah, well, you're hanging like a champ. You've been hanging better than Mr. Ed. Good job.
Yeah, my loon cube just died. My light just died at 50% power. That was 2 hours, I guess. That ain't bad.
That's when it blinked last time. It was last call.
I was just sitting here digging through my desk. I ain't ever over here, so I was finding all kind of neat stuff. And then my light goes out.
11 p.m. Yep. So we're seeing our East Coasters. Ian Stepler has popped in chat before. Can't get him on. I haven't wrangled him in yet like we did you on when you were driving home last time. Yeah, we caught him going through the McDonald's drive-through. Mr. Ed said, that boy's always eating.
He was going through the drive-through and it made me hungry.
Yeah, that's how you keep up this athletic figure I got.
That's what I would say. I said, well, I'm trying to keep up with my girlish figure.
Yeah. Yeah, when I quit sports, I didn't quit eating like I was still playing.
Yeah, I'll show next time you guys come on. I'll show you the 400-pound. I look like Tony Soprano, man. Shave head, 400 pounds in a suit, out of weight. And it was that moment I looked at that photo. I said, "I'm gonna die if I don't change something. I'm gonna die for real." And so I went to the extreme and had the surgery. But
yeah,
looking back on it, I mean, I feel better than I did. So
good.
Wow.
And I can climb a set of stairs.
Yeah.
Don't climb the ladder.
You got to come climb my ladder.
Yeah, just climb the ladder in back of Lee's truck.
That's right. I'll do it.
Yeah.
I was more worried about that nuke when he was coming down, the nuke just falling off the ladder.
Well, that's what everybody told me there. They said, just make sure you don't fall. Well, I said, I'm just going to lay my phone on the ground out there. That way, when the ladder comes over, I'll land right next to my phone. I can call
and that would have been a viral video right there. And you could just that jackass falls off the back of 12-foot ladder on a truck with a hive full of bees.
Well, I had something silly come across my thing today from some news channel. It was a little short thing. Woman has hundreds of bees landing in her face, and it's her husband standing on a chair or somebody, and he goes and reaches up and grabs a hold of a little crepe myrtle limb, and she's standing down there looking up, and about the time he touches the limb, about a quarter of them fall down right in her face. And I'm like,
oh yeah, I saw that. That.
But thankfully, she was not stung.
Right.
It's what it said. Yeah, hundreds of bees fall in her face, but she wasn't stung. I don't know.
Yeah, you guys watch that Texas Bee Works? Have you seen that channel?
Yeah.
The jury's still out for me on that channel. I don't usually critique people's channels, but the one video I actually watched, it was like an outdoor fire pit, and there was it was like a softball size swarm, and she wasn't speaking. She was over. It was all overdubbed video. I'm like, yeah, ever get back ever.
Yeah,
you know this.
It's entertainment. I won't say anything, but
it's all it is. Sex sells.
Yeah.
That's
so
right.
we might have to start wearing bikinis, Randy, to get the viewership up.
Oh, that'll get the views, all right. It'll get the comments too. Oh my Lord! I just threw up on my keyboard.
No, I ain't gotta wear a bikini. Listen, for $20 you can hire just about anybody wearing a bikini to get in a video.
Right.
It ain't gotta be me.
Yeah.
But, no, old Texas girl, I give her credit for messing with bees without, for the most part, without a suit on. But I'm not too much of a fan as far as
dirt rearster.
New dirt rearster.
Do I?
Yeah, talking about your bikini thong.
Yeah. Skid mark rooster.
Hey there,
Look at
Dawn.
Dawn coming in here out of nowhere.
Now she shows up.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, it's been great. Thanks.
Yeah.
So we can leave now. Dawn's here.
Fun chatting. Fun chatting.
Yeah.
Natalie's gone to bed and Dawn's on.
She won't. She does not approve of Natalie getting on here yet.
No.
Well, Dawn comes in a lot, and we like her coming in. But we said, hey, Natalie can come on.
We'll keep it PG-13.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's been clean tonight.
Well, Mr. Ed was in here.
Yeah, it was because Mr. Ed was here.
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
Every now and then,
he was on for 2 hours. I didn't even grab a cigarette over here. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's part of Mr. Ed's contract and all this. He's like, okay, well, y'all can talk bad, but you can't say any bad words, and you can't smoke, can't chew dip, no drinking beer. And
hey, well, Mr. Ed was on when Brian was drinking that apple pie that I sent him.
Oh, now you let the cat out of the bag. We all thought it was sweet tea. Great.
It was apple pie flavored sweet tea. That's what
it The worst I've got here is some honeymead that the Chicago Honeybee Company brought me at the Hive Life Conference.
That looks like an empty bottle. No, it's open.
No, no,
It's closed.
It's closed.
How well does that stuff age? Because I've got about a 7-year-old bottle of honeymead in there.
I have no clue.
Got 13 more years to go before it'll be good.
It'll age for a long time in my office.
I got a guy sold a couple of gallons of honey to you, made some mead, and brought me a couple of bottles of it to try out. Pretty good.
Hey, what's the time frame on the video right now?
2 hours and 59 minutes and 45 seconds.
Okay, so for the next 15 seconds, I'm going to test the audio on my microphone through my brand new Mac. Y'all can just stand by and wait till I'm done talking, because this is where I'm going to come back and listen to it later. Thank you very much for playing.
There you go.
I just wanted to hear my audio.
Exactly 15 seconds too.
Yeah, I know I hadn't been real attentive here. I'm going through my desk drawers and finding all kind of crap. I forgot I got knives and guns and stuff over here. I forgot I have my
Quickly.
There's my microphone test.
If you got both of your phones on, it bounces.
Wait, hang on.
Oh, I got to get that kind of mic.
Yappy.
I feel like it's in my brain.
You got to play around sometimes.
Yappy, he's got it set up to where when he gets up from his desk, it switches to his wireless mic that's still hooked to the soundboard, so he can go on like location.
I actually don't have it on my side tonight. It's sitting right here.
Nice. Listen, here's the thing. You know what? Let's all just be real. We don't care nothing about bees. We're only using the bees to put on the TV so that we can pay for all this crap that we like to play with.
We're just gear
up.
Hey, you want to hear something funny? I got this. I hate not knowing where the mic is.
Blue ice.
The snowball.
Yeah, and we did a talk with the Pennsylvania Bee Club a couple weeks ago, and the whole time I got the stupid snowball mounted right up here in front of me, and when we were done, I realized I never had it plugged in.
You're talking through your webcam.
I'm talking through my webcam, thinking I've got this mic right here in my face, getting great audio.
It would have been funny if you would have been holding that mic up to your mouth, like like this the whole time. It wasn't. They're like, man, we're not buying that mic. That mic sucks.
That mic sucks. I'm on my phone right now, so
if this one don't work, I'll swing another one around in place.
This is audio on my phone.
So like a PG-58 or a SG-58 Shure microphone?
It is the something or another. I don't know. Hang on. What do you need?
Holy smokes!
Oh, that hurt. God,
he just dropped his grandma's telephone. Was what it sounded like.
Oh, that was loud. It's a SM57.
SM57.
Yeah,
I've got a PG-58 mic down there. I've got a carotid mic in the attic with the stand and the shock mount and mixing board. I got so much crap. I just use this Samson G-Track Pro on my desk, and it works pretty good. So it's actually probably 1.5 feet away from.
Well, I got a completely unrelated idea to do a podcast. I want to do one, and I want to actually get my wife into doing one, and so I've been putting this whole little extra equipment thing together, and we're just going to eventually I'll start messing with that, but I wanted also to be able to have all this stuff for when I do these live streams, when I'm on with you people, and just have a decent camera, decent audio. Well, I brought everything to work today to where I could, first day with this thing, try to put it all together, see how it works, which was funny because I got with Brian because I wanted to StreamYard with him to get, a feel for the audio where I could have somebody say, okay, audio level's a little high, a little low, whatever. I don't have my boom arm. I mean, it's literally sitting back at the house in the building in the studio. So I've had to lay it on a stack of books, on a sweatshirt, and I've got my I got another mic over there, but it doesn't have a muff ball on it. So I'm like, well, let me grab this thing just to where I got something. And I mean, it's literally sitting here next to me on a stack of books.
It sounds good.
I want one of those, but I got to be careful with Yappy because me and Yappy both love gear, and he'll buy something, and I think, man, I got to have that. And I buy it and never use it.
Right.
I got all kind of crap laying around here I ain't using.
That's me. I got another mic here. I got one on the floor. It's like
I got three expensive gimbals sitting next to me. I got a $300 monopod. I got these what's that Rode video mic or those Rode mics?
Yeah.
Rode Go 2. I got those that I've only used for one video.
And I'm ashamed of you.
I know.
Because yes, he ain't lying. So he ends up with a GoPro out of nowhere. Good job,
yeah,
dude.
Yeah, thank you.
Then we get the media mod, and then I'm like, so I bought the wireless Go 2 setup, and I'm literally driving down the road. Yes, yeah. See, I mean, here I'm on a Hero 10. Here's one of the 2 9s I've got. I got a 360 sitting over there, the 360 Max. You don't even. I'm telling you, I could buy a brand new car for the amount of equipment that I've got.
Does that Rode Go, is that specifically for GoPros?
No, you can use it on anything.
Yeah,
they're wireless mics. There's 2 mics and 1 receiver, and you can use.
Can you just sync the audio with your video, or does
you sync it up in post.
Okay,
that's what I do.
I don't have to. Yeah,
but
you got a media mod. You can do it in that.
You know, if you're plugged,
then I got a Rode lapel mic that connects to it, and I just sync it.
If you're, I say you sync it up in post. You don't have to. If you're plugged directly into your GoPro or your phone with the receiver, it uses that audio instead of your onboard audio.
Yeah, and what Dawn was saying, you know, she used it with an iPhone. All it is you've got a transmitter, and you can. I mean, mine's sitting over there, but it's a little old thing about the size of a little matchbox, you know, twice as thick. And but that you put that, I put it on the back of my hat. I run the lav mic underneath my hat, put it right here. All right. Transmit to the receiver, which is going to the GoPro into the media mod directly, and that's my audio directly onto the video footage. But I mean, it's wireless. I can have that thing and plug it into my computer. I can plug it into that M50 sitting up there. It's just, you know, whatever you would normally plug a wired microphone into with a TRS, that's the same thing. This is a square with a TRS cable going in, and I'm wireless, so I can set my camera up in my yard. I can set it up at a job, and but the audio is phenomenal. I was driving down the road when I first got it, and I was making little test videos with this thing, sending them to Randy going, dude, I'm driving 70 miles an hour, and you can't hear nothing. It's just me talking. But what got him into it was I did a bee removal. And, you know, I mean, you guys have seen my stuff. I mean, you look at an earlier video where it's like the vacuum just is so loud. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I would have to cover it with music or something and work that action, blah, blah, blah. Well, the first removal that I did, I had the hat on, had my little wire, you know, my little lav mic up in here, and I'm doing everything. I'm cutting stuff out. I'm talking just like what we're talking right now, as perfectly clear in that video. And it's I don't know. I don't want to say it's got a noise gate or whatever you call it, but it literally will majorly reduce that vacuum noise. So you can hear it in a low hum, but I don't have to be loud when I talk or anything. I'm just like, hey, you know, whatever. But Brian bought a set, a generic set for his GoPro setup because he saw what I was using on that. I know a couple of people that have got them.
But the media mod, it won't go on the Max, right?
No.
And
make it for the 8, 9.
Now it will. Here's the thing, though. Okay, you've got to buy the little block microphone adapter for that. The only problem is on the 360, you don't have you got to find a case that you can put your 360 in with a microphone, and that's where I have yet to find one for that. But because you've got the USB-C that goes into the side of that Max,
right?
You can put that adapter on there and then get the wireless Go. But shoot, by the time you pay $50 for that adapter and then $300 or whatever it is for the wireless Go, it ain't worth it anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
It ain't worth it. I mean,
Part
I'll be
of
honest
what.
with you.
Go ahead.
Well, I'd say me personally, and I'm trying to get him to spend the money. Go get you the 10, the GoPro 10. Now that I think they're down to like $275 or something like that. But get you a 10 with a media mod.
Yeah, I got the medium mod, and then I have the max mod lens on it.
If you buy it straight from GoPro, you'll get like 20% off whatever it is. But if you buy it straight from GoPro as a package, you may spend $450, $500, depending on what all you get.
Right.
But but that's the route to go on making some pretty darn good videos.
Part of what dictates what I do or don't use as far as equipment goes is the dirtiness of the jobs that we go into. I don't want to take my best gear in and ruin expensive mic or expensive camera, expensive lens by getting it full of sheetrock dust or honey or beef feces on a slide part of a lens or something like that. And so a lot of the stuff that I get that I have big intentions of using is only going to be any good if I'm shooting in a bee yard where I can kind of protect the stuff and it's a little ways away and there's not sheetrock dust and everything else floating in the air. So that's a lot of the reason I just use my phone for most of it. But also some of it is we're working indoors in spaces where the light is bad and GoPro is horrible in low light. And so that's where these Lume Cubes come in. You can mount those on your GoPro and you can control the light on those from real bright to real low. And so on the you got one?
That's the GoPro
light. The GoPro light, yeah. So these are waterproof and they're diffused. It's got all kinds of attachments on it, but I can control the light in so many ways. And when you're doing cutouts, you got to be able to control the light anyway. And that doesn't mean blow it out with enough light to make a GoPro do good. So
I've done a few videos with the Max, but I've been using the Max as like the far away shot, and then I've been using a chest harness with my Hero 5 as to see what I'm doing for the hand. So it's like a split screen, so people can see what I'm doing box wise, but they can also actually see what's happening on the frames. And some people have liked it. It's just it's kind of hard to split the screen because the GoPros shoot in such a wide field of view that when you split them down, you constantly find myself sliding clips back and forth in the edit. But
I'm still impressed with Mike Berry's footage that he gets off that Hero 3 Plus.
Yeah,
I think he does a good job.
I think he's showing that off, acting like that. I think he's tricking us.
I think he's got an 8 or 9 and he's wrote 3 on the side of
it. He walked around the Hive Life conference with that 3 Plus.
I didn't never see it. I never saw it.
I seen it a couple times, and but I agree. I'm like, you got something going on. You done cheating us somehow or another because that 3 ain't that good.
I think Mike's probably about 35 or 40 minutes from where I live.
Well, you need to sneak over there like in a sniper suit, okay, with a telephoto.
The ghillie suit.
I'll bring my long lens.
Yes, and you need to get up down there in the squirrely swamp and watch him make one of them videos around there and see what he's actually shooting with. It ain't that GoPro.
Get the proof for everybody.
Lying.
It's an iPhone 13.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, I know it's getting late, and I'm sure y'all got things to do too.
Yeah.
Lee's got to get up to go to work in the morning.
I still got an hour worth of paperwork before I go to bed.
All right, guys. I got to pee.
Pee.
Yeah, eyeballs floating.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Mr. Red right now laying in bed snoring. Here we are. We're still on this thing. Oh God, I'm tired.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate y'all guys coming on and everything that y'all do on YouTube and helping everybody learn. What was that,
Thanks for the invite. I said thanks for the invite. We enjoyed it.
See us better. That will be the official thumbnail right there. Yappy leaning in with them glasses.
There you go. Get her done.
Thank you
Gotta
for
make it
everybody
fun.
that super chatted and stickered and all that good stuff. We appreciate you. Heck, I can't say the hockey stick word, but the thank you so much, because that's more than I make in a month on YouTube. So I appreciate it, and hopefully we can do more of these in the future.
Definitely. And anybody in the chat section, make sure y'all subscribe to everybody y'all seen on the live tonight, and give them
Especially
some
ours, because you guys already know them.
No, you probably lost about 10 subscribers because you had me on there. That ain't gonna be no joke.
Yeah. Every time Yappy uploads, he calls me and says, "I just lost 17 more."
I shared this in a 75,000 member Facebook group, in the Hives for Heroes Facebook group, on the Stream Team Facebook group. So we put it out there. So a lot of people that might have come to this really hadn't been subscribed to us. So if we gain subscribers because of you guys, thank you.
I noticed the next morning after these lives, I'll look in, and some of the people overseas will be watching it our next morning. I guess their nighttime.
Yeah.
Here's a funny subscriber story. So we were doing a live, and I said, "Hey, I just saw in the studio, I've got 1,599 subscribers. I just need one more to hit 1,600." And the next day I came back and I had 1,598. Somebody quit me over that, I guess.
Yeah.
So, it happens. Whatever.
Yeah, when I hit 20,000, it got to 19,997, and it stayed there, and it dropped down to 993, 97. It was back and forth for hours, and like, come on.
And then
If y'all guys need anything, just look on that about page on me and just give me a holler anytime.
Yeah.
Right.
One day I'll get down. I don't know any other South Carolina. Well, I'm starting to. Actually, I've met a few South Carolina beekeepers through these live streams. So one of them is supposed to come out to my house tomorrow and check out what I've got going on here. I just got some new extracting equipment. I got a licensed 30 frame extractor and the licensed uncapping tank with the steam not the fancy schmancy steam uncapper, but the tabletop one, where it's got the heated blades and you slide it across, and then you flip your frame over and slide it across again to uncap it. And I'm excited about that. Now I've got to actually get something to hold the honey in other than my 5-gallon bucket with the little plastic gate valve on it. So that's the next thing. So trying to make some upgrades.
License got nice bottling tanks.
Yeah.
but Bob's looking for an unbottling tank, though.
Yeah, I made a slip of the tongue unbottling tank, and they won't let me live it down now. Everything's unbottling this, unbottling that, recapping tank probably would be next.
Yeah,
that's right. I found out Brian was like 10 times more addicted to donuts than any of us. It's his kryptonite is donuts. So now it's like every conversation you have with Brian, you got to slip something joke about donuts in there.
About donuts. Yeah, we should have said that tonight. We just
did.
Oh, he got
Brian's not here to defend himself.
Donut. He was in the chat a few minutes ago. He's probably still poking around.
Oh yeah.
Well, it was Taco Tuesday, so that's why we brought Randy in.
Okay.
I actually have fried catfish in the kitchen waiting on me.
So you hadn't even eaten yet. Yeah, we definitely got to get off here now.
All right.
Food waiting. All right,
guys.
Thank you. Have a good night. Thank y'all.
Good night.
Enjoyed it.
All right, bye-bye.
All right,
everybody
boy.
in the chat, y'all have a good night too, and thank y'all for coming to watch.